So, just to give you a context, I don't know who's this guy. I'm not American, first of all, so I don't know who. And he's basically have some ideas that are kind of out of the pocket, let's say, and Jubilee decided to put this guy with 25 students, college students, liberal college students, to talk with him. And I want to see what is gonna happen actually, because I've been seeing a lot of this on TikTok and some people reacting to it, but I didn't watch it the video. I just watched it like little clips, so didn't watch the full video. So here we are. Here we are.
Do you think men can give birth?
I think that.
Yes or no question. Do you think men can give birth?
I think that.
Wait. What's going on here? What is going on here? Okay, we can go now, I guess.
Do you think men can give birth?
I think that.
Men can give
Yes or no
birth.
question.
Was that?
I think that a person who is assigned male at birth, I don't. think they can give
Assigned
birth.
male at birth, so people are not male at birth?
I think that.
Wait, I need. Wait, I'm not this. I need I need that. Anyway. Okay.
Do you think men can give birth?
I think that.
No, men can
think
give
men can give birth?
birth.
I think that.
Yes
a
or no
person-
question.
I think that a person who is assigned male at birth, I don't think they can
Assigned
give birth.
male at birth, so people are not male at birth?
I think that a person.
See, your evidence that college is a scam, my friend.
So what do you say in some cases women with IUDs are murdered?
This guy was in another video, right? He was. Maybe
Of course not, they're not
next
murderers.
stream
So
we'll
what's the
watch that,
difference
I'm
between an
not sure.
IUD killing a conceived son?
Also,
go,
a lot of
like-
people say this guy literally slayed him every time. So let's see what's gonna happen.
Like a mother going to Planned Parenthood and killing the fetus in her womb.
That was actually the best point somebody made.
It's not about the cells.
No,
It's not about. No, I'm
I know,
speaking.
we're-
No, I'm speaking. No,
we're
I'm
both
speaking. No,
functional
I'm
cells,
speaking. No,
okay?
I'm speaking. No, I'm speaking.
Wanna say it one more time?
No, I'm speaking.
Hello, everyone. I am Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, and I am surrounded by
Of
20
course, it needed to be like okay.
woke college kids. My first
Woke
prompt is
colleges.
abortion
What?
is murder and should be illegal.
Bro, it just starts like that. It just starts like that already. It starts like that already. No way, it starts like that. Okay, can we go? Can we go?
All right.
Can I maybe go?
I want to see which has been.
Okay, hello, what's your name?
Juliana.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Can
you.
we get our terms right first?
Yeah.
Okay, abortion is the forcible ending of the viability of a being in utero, otherwise known as a fetus. Do we agree that's what abortion is?
First question right here. Do you have a utero? No. So shut the fuck up. That's the first
Okay.
question.
Okay, great. And then murder is the intentional taking of life, different than killing or sudden death. So murder would be the intent taking another life. Do we agree with that?
Okay.
Okay, and then we agree that murder in general in society should be illegal.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So yeah, no, I do want to preface that I'm a Catholic.
Okay.
So I think one really important thing that the Bible says is to not judge. And just going back to the topic, I think there's a big difference between, cells in utero than a living, breathing, existing being. And while
Wait, is a Catholic person saying this?
I
Okay,
believe it's murder, and that's just my personal belief,
that's
right?
because I knew.
I don't believe in telling people what to do with their bodies. That's not up to me, and it's not up to us as
Okay.
well as Christians
But-
to judge.
Should we prevent murder?
Wait, where is the red
To
flag?
me, and
they would like a different speaker.
It's not up to us
Okay.
as well as Christians
But-
to judge.
Should we prevent murder in society?
For sure, yeah.
Then
I
it
mean,
should be illegal.
but I think that it's really different, right? Because, you know, these people aren't.
Sorry, nice to
No,
meet
it's
you.
okay, nice to meet you.
Because she was kind of giving a good point. Like, you should not judge. You should just sit, shut up, and let people live their lives. You know, not with this aggressive way, but I think it's gonna be that girl.
Okay, what's your name?
Naima.
I don't get the faces. Why she made that face? I don't
Nice
know.
to meet you.
Okay, can I just ask, at how many weeks do you think that a fetus is viable?
Well, viability and moral worth are two different things.
No, but I'm asking you, at how many weeks do
Well,
you think
at
a
about
fetus
20
is viable?
weeks, a baby can survive outside of utero.
So it's actually
No way. Oh, do you know how many is 20? Wait, let me search for it. Wait. Okay, 20 weeks is like 5 months. No. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. I don't think even in 5 months. Yes, like 5 months. I don't think. Mm-mm. Anyways,
24 to 26
Well, it's
weeks.
20. The youngest ever in a NICU unit actually happened in San Diego, not far from here, and survived at 20 weeks.
Okay, so
yeah, but that's not every case, my friend. That means probably the baby developed it a little bit faster. Sometimes happens. You have my case. I literally just went to the world with 8 months because it needed to be. But also, I'm here with every day. And sometimes some babies need actually the 9 months. Yeah, it was like 35 weeks for me to come out this beauty. But yeah, normally babies need like 40 weeks. So it's not like that.
under Roe v. Wade, 93% of abortions happened in the first 13 weeks of pregnancy. That's 93% of the abortions happened well before a fetus is technically viable
For
as
sure.
a form
so
of
let,
life.
let's go into viability.
Okay. She's big facts. I get it, but I'll be annoyed with this guy. I'm so sure.
What is it about, let's say, a 6-week baby that has a heartbeat, its own DNA, fingerprint, brain waves, that is less moral worth than
Fingerprint, my friend. No way. I don't think they have fingerprint. Maybe DNA, heartbeat makes sense, but fingerprint, brain waves, the beginning of a brain. Anyways.
an 88-year-old right now with dementia in a home down the street. That person requires assistance, requires help. Why is it that the 6-week baby is of less moral worth?
Well, first of all, it's not a baby, it's a fetus.
Well, what does fetus mean?
A fetus is in utero.
What does fetus mean in Latin?
What the I'm sorry.
What has one thing to do with another? Let me tell you, I'm Portuguese. It's a lot of Portuguese words that in Latin means something different, okay? And came from a Latin word that means something close, but also something different, which is the case here. So, if you don't know, Portuguese comes from Latin, okay? That's why I say that. Like some words in Latin had a transformation and become another word, and it's something close, but not the same thing. They are different. They have like sometimes like this large difference, and it's the same thing here. That's not an argument, my friend. That's not a strong argument.
It means little human being.
Ooh, his smile is very good.
Okay, she's
Okay.
Smiling is creepy.
No, your smile specifically.
Got it.
But
yeah, it is.
let's go back to we're losing track here.
No, but is what species is the fetus?
The fetus is not a species yet. It's technically classified as a parasite until it is
wow.
viable.
So
now I want to talk to you about something very quickly.
I can't let you get past that. Are you saying a baby is a disease or a tumor?
A parasite is not a disease and a tumor. Those are not the same thing. A parasite is defined as something that cannot survive outside of its host. A baby, before it is viable, cannot survive outside of a woman's womb.
Got it. So let's extrapolate that.
It is not a living organism.
Are old people with Alzheimer's and dementia that are being assisted every day, are they parasites?
No, they're not.
He's not getting it. Dead people with Alzheimer and dementia can breathe, okay? They can live, they can eat, they can... He's not thinking. He's not using his brain.
Beings who are on the brink of death.
Got it. So my 4-month-old that requires mom's breast milk and requires daily changes and feedings cannot survive without its own. Is my
Wait. That part of requires mom's breast thing that he talked like that. It's not actually that important. I didn't because I already you are discovering a lot about my life here. I don't like it, but yeah, it didn't happen to me, but I'm here. I'm okay. So that's not like actually that important, I guess. But anyways.
4-month-old, a parasite.
Your baby can breathe on its own. Your baby can drink water from its mouth to its stomach.
But it cannot.
Your baby can
it
eat
hunt?
food.
Can it gather? Can it reason?
But that's not what qualifies something as being a living organism. Being a living organism simply...
Bro, my cat is a living organism. And I am the one that needs to put a freaking water to him, drink freaking food to him drink. But he's there. He's living. He has his choices. He's literally right there on sleep, and I'm just doing a lot of noise. But he's there doing his choices. Okay? It's a cat. He's a living. But also needs me because he can open doors, for example. But he can sleep on his own. He can eat on his own. He has emotions. He has feelings. He has appetite. Like, oh, I want to eat. Yeah, I want to drink water. You know,
means can you survive outside of a womb, outside of your host?
Got it. So I just want to make sure I'm clear. Why does that then equate to moral viability?
It equates to scientific viability.
Why? Under what standard?
Because it is not alive, and you are advocating for the rights of something that is not technically a life.
Got it. So what is something?
Well,
I would question him one thing. He also, men can not forget about this thing. They also have living things in their own body. You know, it starts right there, right? But you also go to the toilet and you leave that on the toilet. But that's okay. That's okay. Okay, this was just a terrible joke. A terrible joke.
Of the human woman who is alive.
Got it. So, but a mom can survive.
Yes.
Without the baby in her. Right?
Yes.
The baby cannot survive without the mom.
Yes.
But a mom cannot survive without her lungs. So it's not her body, it's in her body. It's not her DNA, so it's not her choice. So it's a...
It's not her DNA? Do you know it like... Wait, normally... No, I even think that like DNA of women are bigger than men, but I don't remember like the actually scientific thing. If you guys know, tell me. I don't know, but anyway.
It actually is.
It's on my body, okay? It's on my body. It's on my body. It's on my utros. You don't have that. You don't have that. Just shut the fuck up. We just start like that. We could just start the conversation in it.
It is 100.
So I'm looking for individuals who are 18 to 25 and have a burning desire to break free from the traditional system and claim ownership of their money, time, and
It's
It is 100%. It's 50% of her DNA.
half her DNA. He's gonna win, I'm telling you. This could take a while.
Okay, first of all,
Do we have our terms correct? We agree?
Actually, no. So first of
Okay,
all,
got it.
I'd like to refine our terms. I
Got
have
it.
2 points to bring up. after
Actually,
that.
why this guy looks like Tom Holland. I don't know why, but it reminds me of it. I'm the only one. I hope I'm not the only one.
So you define murder as like intentionally like killing a human being.
Mhm.
I think that's a very poor way to define murder, because if someone were to like break into my home and point a gun at the heads of me and everybody I love, and I intentionally kill them to prevent them from unaliving from killing my family, I don't think I murdered them, right? So I would define murder as the unjustified termination of a human life.
You're making a good point. Let me further clarify that. So, self-defense is
Right.
very warranted.
Exactly, right?
But I can see where you're going to go with how that has to go with abortion, but we can go down that
Yeah.
journey in a second.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I kind of do want to give you my argument insofar as why I'm pro-choice, why I think it's justified. But first, I think that, you know, your position is quite absurd, right? Because you're saying that it is murder to kill a human being, right, at any point in development, especially when it's in the mother's womb. My question to you would be, well, does this make women with IUDs murderers? Because it is the case that in some scenarios, an IUD will allow for conception to occur, meaning there's a unique human life there, but it will prevent its implantation, intentionally killing it.
Well, no, preventing implantation is not
Good point. Good point.
necessarily
Let's
the same
see who
thing
has
as
to.
terminating a fertilized egg. For example, if you take Plan B, again, it's not.
Bro, you eat eggs from freaking chicken in your breakfast. You are literally killing little chicken. I don't remember the name of it now, but yeah, you are killing little chicken.
Is not the
All
same.
of us are.
Preventing the production of
Fortunately.
progesterone is not the same thing as terminating a being that has been fertilized. You do not know for a fact that the egg has been fertilized. You do not know that when you have an IUD.
Okay, yeah,
Do you?
so preventing fertilization or implantation to the uterine lining is killing a conceived zygote. So what happens? A sperm goes into the egg, right? The egg becomes fertilized. It's a conceived zygote. In some cases, it will prevent the implantation of the conceived zygote, killing the conceived zygote.
In some cases, correct.
It happens. It happens.
So what do you say in some cases
Well,
women
no,
with IUDs are murderers?
Of course not. They're not murderers. We do not know for a case. That's like saying that.
So
everyone
what's
that
the
takes-
difference between an IUD killing a conceived zygote
Because-
and like a mother going to Planned Parenthood and killing the fetus in her womb?
Well, so you're asking two separate things. If they knew for certain, to be more clear, that I have a fertilized egg and I'm going to take a drug to prevent that fertilized egg from attaching to their uterine wall, then yes, that is an act of killing or murder, of course.
Okay, so
But
do you think
you
all
do-
murderers should go to jail?
Do I think all murderers should go to jail? I mean, on the third.
Interesting is saying that at this point, I should have been watching this. Anyways,
third-degree murder. However, no, I don't think women that got abortions or had IUDs should go to jail because I think that they have been deceived by mass culture and mass propaganda. Secondly, the people who should go to jail are the abortionists, who are the ones that have been putting the abortion pill, the ones that have been doing procedures, the ones that have been going into the third trimester and breaking babies' backs and inserting them with syringes while the babies are crying and suffocating, being born alive, and then being dead on the operating table.
Okay.
That is who should go to jail.
Oh.
but you are confusing things. That's not abortion. You just went to another complete things that happen. It's not the same thing.
That was actually the best point somebody made.
We'll have to talk
I know.
about it.
One clapping. I love that.
Okay, whenever I'm talking about this discussion, I always go to the question of what about in the case of the mother when her life is in danger? Because I'm a big believer. I don't know. I'm still iffy on if I think it's or if it's murder or not. But even so, I mean, I don't want to say murder is justified. Guys, wait, let me just get this one point and then you can vote me out. Give me 1 second. Say the mother gets pregnant and she knows that if she gives birth, she's going to die. She has some kind of health complication. Then what do you do in that
Cesarean
case?
section.
I don't know what that means.
It's a C-section. They
Oh,
do
cesarean
an
section.
insert.
Guys, wait, hold on. Just give me one second.
They go right below the belly button and they deliver the baby, and therefore she doesn't have to give birth. It's technically birth, but it's much safer. So that's actually safer than an abortion procedure. Sorry, Lily.
I don't think.
Hello, how are you?
Hi,
What's your name?
Deedon.
Nice to
Nice to
meet
meet you. I would say with abortion, I think it's very complicated, but I think
This guy is giving like voice of streamer or voice of podcast. I don't know.
the issue that I have, primarily with your stance of being pro-life, that there's no nuance. There's women who are being forced to travel hundreds of miles to access abortion care, even in cases of rape in certain states that they're not giving any sort of allowance for that. And I think, a lot of people who are pro-life, they say that they're pro-life, but I feel like they're really pro-birth because with firearms, the United States has some of the highest firearm deaths out of
He's really
OECD nations,
nervous.
right? And we can acknowledge
He's
that
really.
that's for children who are actually living and breathing. So I feel like abortion, while yeah, it is, I can definitely see your point. I just think that it should be allowed in some circumstances.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I'm happy to get into the gun violence stuff later, but I want to really stay focused on abortion.
Right.
You can say you see my point. Can you see the world also where, since we know it's a human life, that it should be illegal since we don't allow murder in our society?
Well,
That's already what happens, isn't it? And you have cases like my mom didn't know she was with me till like 5 months, and was like health problems going on there. She could if was but now we wouldn't hear. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think my mom would do that. I don't know for sure because it was a really complicated stuff. Yeah. Anyways, I have cases like you don't know you are pregnant and you don't even have signs and all of that stuff till like a long time, and after you're like, oh shit. So
that's where I have an issue because abortion is not being done willy-nilly. It's like the life of the mother is always.
How many abortions do you think we have every day in America? Just guess.
I'm not sure.
Guess.
I'm honestly not sure. Maybe, I don't know, 1,000?
4,000 a day. So
4,000.
it is kind of willy-nilly. We have 1.6.
how do you know that? How do you know that? You know that a lot of them are made secret, so you don't know. You don't know. Don't come with facts that you don't know.
Sorry.
He was really nervous.
Hello.
I just want to clarify, the thing that you're aiming for is less abortion, right? That would be what you would want, or at least no abortion.
Eventually, it's also a protection of those that can't protect themselves. But yes, and that's why after the reversal of Roe versus Wade, we saw abortions go down dramatically in Texas, Alabama, Mississippi. We saw thousands of babies that are now alive and well that are able to have amazing lives thanks to the reversal of Roe versus Wade.
I don't think a lot of that.
Yeah, the babies have have an amazing life. Go to the houses of the children just to see how it is. I'm telling you.
It is, but
it's not true, because when you make abortion illegal, it doesn't actually decrease the amount of abortions that happen.
That's a nice talking point. In Texas, the numbers show differently. The birth rate has gone up.
Yeah, legal goes down, but illegal abortions still happen. Abortions still happen outside of whatever data you're.
That's not true, but let's just say so. Well, if you
40?
if you want to, well, first of all, if you count the abortion pill, you're right, but that's a separate thing than a chemical abortion and surgical abortion are different things. And I'm not debating you. I'm debating her. So if you want to do the flags and come back in, try and be faster next time. So let me ask you this. So the question is, we should try to limit unjust suffering of human beings, right?
Sure.
Okay, that's my position, is that there's unjust suffering of anywhere between 1.4 to 1.6 million abortions a year, of human beings that are being massacred in the womb. And
Okay.
so that's not a women's rights issue, that's not a men's rights issue, that's just a human rights issue.
Okay, the best way to decrease abortions happening is proper sex education. Limiting abortion and making abortion illegal does not actually decrease the amount of abortions that
So
happen.
what is your evidence?
Yeah, it even makes it less safer, and also more women die, and babies, fetos die too. So
What is my evidence of that?
Because we have increased sex education in the last 30 years.
No, our sex education is so bad in America.
Well, by
she's right. She's right. She's right. I mean, I'm not in America, but I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. Let's say that here in Portugal, we don't have that problem. Like, we are so stupid that we do a lot of jokes about it. We are not. Let me say that Portuguese people are not that like scared to talk about it, but in some cases out there, there is like not a topic to talk at all with your kids, which is stupid. But anyways, not in my case. Not in my case. That's why I'm here. I'm an example of that.
By bad, what do you mean by that? We have more access to birth control for young kids. We have more kids that are learning to use birth control at a younger age.
It's not about it. It's not about it. It's not about it. It's not about the birth control. It's about to understand. Okay?
We have more of that in our public school system, and we've seen all the trends actually go in a negative direction. So, in fact, we see that the more sex education there is, the more disturbing those trends are. So you say that, let me ask you.
No. Nah. I can prove to you that's not real. That's not real. Okay? Okay? I have one thing to say. It's like my mom, my family in general, they always talk about that stuff, and I didn't went to the internet search for it. Okay? Some people out there are really they search for it on the internet, and they get like really crazy about it, like, oh my god, this is amazing. Yeah, but that's not how it works. Okay? The internet does not show the real thing. Okay? That's not okay. No, don't try to think about, oh, I'm gonna do, it's gonna be the same. No, it's not gonna be the same thing, I'm telling you. Also, yeah, I think should be more, because a lot of people are like, oh my god, amazing, let's go, and then things go wrong. You should do that when you are in love with the person. I'm not just saying that this sounds really cringe, but it's true, okay? You should do when you feel. Yay. Yay.
You say that if we make abortion illegal, people will still do it. Should we then just make gang violence legal? Because
in America, you already, it's like really close for it to happen. No, that's stupid. That's stupid, because America allows people to have guns. Any people to have guns. Like, no.
Because
No, I'm
people
saying
still
if you
do it.
actually
Phrases
wanted
like,
to decrease
yeah.
the amount of abortions that happen, you wouldn't be advocating for to make abortion illegal. You'd be advocating for all
Does
of these
that
other
logic
things.
apply to stealing, looting, kidnapping, arson, and murder?
Well, actually, it does, because those are results of different
Okay,
societal
so-
issues
so-
that you should be
got it.
educating
So we
yourself
should
on,
make-
rather than making it
so we
illegal
should
on
make-
the front.
Should we make kidnapping, arson, burglary, murder legal because they're symptoms of something else?
We should be helping
No.
society heal from
You
those
got to
things.
answer the question. We want less of those things, so we just make them legal and we'll get less looting?
You know,
No,
actually,
that's just stupid. No.
I'm gonna let someone else.
Thank you very much.
Anyways,
Hi, Parker. Nice to meet you. Yes.
Nice to meet you, Charlie.
Big TikTok guy.
what? Wait. Why all wait, why you just ask the name and it's nicer with men than woman? It's just me or I don't know.
So, like, pedophiles, people who were married to children in the past and normalized in that society, should they go to prison?
Should pedophiles
Like,
go
if
to
you could go
prison?
back in time, would you put those pedophiles in prison that married those children because it was normalized? They were
I mean, right now we are having right now is going on something. Yeah. Yeah, anyways.
deceived into thinking it's okay. Would you put them in prison?
You got to slow down.
Sorry.
Pedophiles should get the death penalty.
No, so you'd go back in the past, you'd give them the death penalty, even though they were deceived into thinking it was okay. But you said people who get abortions who are women shouldn't go to prison.
But it's not currently illegal.
Okay, regardless.
Pedophilia
At that time, it wasn't.
Okay, yeah, but like 40 years ago, it was okay. I'm not even kidding, it was okay. It was literally stories. It was literally movies on Hollywood with the difference of age, and it was okay. So, yeah, anyways.
No, I would not go back and retroactively enforce laws where things were currently not illegal.
You wouldn't put pedophiles in prison in the past.
Hold on a second. When was it illegal? When was it legal in America?
Well, child marriage was legal in America throughout the early 1900s, and especially throughout most of society for thousands of years, especially in the Old Testament and in the Bible. Right?
Well, hold on a second. So,
Ooh.
where is the Levitical law that allows you to marry a child?
Oh, yeah.
Can you name the verse?
Well, I can't name the verse, but the particular conditions that are listed in the Bible are that you have to be physical maturity and emotional maturity, which is extremely vague and throughout society has been seen to be met at puberty.
There is not a verse, but let's kind of go
Okay,
back.
so when is the age of consent
abortion.
under your view?
Let's go back to, generally agreed upon it's 18 years old. But let me ask you
But you, because you don't go based on what's generally agreed, you go based on the Bible.
I say 18 years old, but let me ask you a question.
Where's that in the Bible?
When does life begin?
Conception.
Conception, great. So good. So should we protect all life at conception?
I care about sentient life, not
Sentient.
cellular
So
life.
when do brainwaves start?
Do you think brain dead people should be able to pull the plug on, like a family should be able to pull the plug on an individual
Hold on,
in the family that's brain
you
dead?
got to answer the question. When do brainwaves?
It could have gone with the conception one and telling, yeah, where life begins in conception, and was like, yeah, conception and all this stuff. And he would be asking him, like, yeah, it starts, but when is break it? When conception is break it? Now tell me. So someone breaks the conception, and I cannot break the fetus. Good questions to be asked. They just lost opportunity. But anyways.
When do brainwaves start?
You can see brainwaves around 6 to 8 weeks, which in brain dead individual, there are brainwaves as well. So the brainwaves necessary to produce a subjective experience are met until around 18 through 26 weeks in the womb.
Can you see it from my perspective that at 6 to 8 weeks, those brainwaves will actually increase, not decrease, if allowed the process of development to continue?
Did you know those same EEG scans exist in brain dead people that you don't think are sentient?
No, but the difference with the brain dead people is that the likelihood of those brainwaves actually increasing is very low. As 6 to 8 weeks, when by 15 weeks they can hear the mom's voice.
It's impossible. It's irreversible sensation. That's what brain death is.
Hold on,
didn't know that.
But no,
it's not coma.
But you're doing a red herring. Go back to
no, it's not. What's a red herring?
A red herring is where you avoid the topic and you say something that is adjacent or symmetrical to what I'm saying, but not actually what I'm saying.
You mean a reductio ad absurdum? That's not a red herring.
A 6 to 8 week baby, if they're allowed to continue to develop, what ends up happening?
At a certain point, it will become a sentient being in the future. The same way that if I keep engaging in sex with my girlfriend, there'll be a baby in the future. Yet I don't care about the
unless
sperm.
you're infertile, which we don't know. But let's see the process of development, right? Why do you
want to answer my question yet?
Why do you have the ability or the right?
Should those child P3os go to prison?
The process of
should the pedophiles go to prison?
From 1904. How many pedophiles are alive from 1904?
They're not alive, right? I meant like if you can go back in the past, hypothetically speaking, and you could put them in prison. Would you put them in prison?
I would have killed them myself if I was alive.
Okay, so then you don't apply it based upon what people are deceived to believe. You apply it based upon what you consider to be.
Oh, his answer. Give it a lot of. So it's not pro-life. It's not pro-life. It's not.
Moral. So the women who had abortions, you think they should go to prison. So why should women who get abortions go to prison, but someone like my mom who told me that Santa Claus exists shouldn't go to prison because they're both sense?
This is not going to be a constructive debate if you keep on talking over me.
Well, I was finishing my statement. You were talking over me. But go for it.
Let me ask you a very simple question. Do you think it would be a good thing if we had less abortions in America?
It depends on the context. Like, are the abortions prior to sentience?
Yes.
Because I think
all abortions.
No, it would not be necessarily
are
better
you against
unless it is
late-term
the case of the
abortion?
people didn't want the abortions, and it would be negatively impactful to their health, medically
Are
speaking.
you against
'Cause I think
late-term
women
abortion?
after sentience? Yes.
Okay, so you believe in an 8-week abortion ban?
Yeah. No, I don't. Sorry, I believe in an abortion ban after 18 through 26 weeks.
Okay, that's
Sorry,
a
my
more
bad.
reasonable position. I have to give you credit for that.
It's similar to Trump's 15 weeks.
Yeah. So why do you think that most people don't share your view on that?
Well, people just don't really know what sentience is. There's not a lot of conversation about abortion, and these conversations are very difficult. Like they're conceptually hard to go through, and I understand why a lot of people don't understand
for sure.
their positions on it.
So
But I think people
you
have.
are where most
You're cutting me off.
Americans
I thought we weren't cutting people off.
I was actually complimenting you. How are you? Nice to see you.
So I just have one question. There's like in any case, you don't think there's any case where abortion should be legal?
This was the part.
Very, very rare couple cases.
Okay, so you do
where-
think
hold on
that a
one
couple
second.
cases
Hold
it
on.
is legal?
If cesarean section is not going to save the mother's life, and the mother's life is actually at risk, which is debated amongst growing numbers of OBGYNs,
Okay.
that is the only case where abortion should be
Do you
allowed.
think there
But
The only. No way. No way. No way.
But people say it is a growing consensus in the pro-life world that abortion is never medically
Pro-life.
necessary.
Okay. So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped, and she was
Well,
going to give
I-
birth
I
and
do
she
have
would
a
no wait.
daughter.
Oh, and she was going to give birth and she was going to live. Would you want her to go through that and carry her
Well,
rapist baby?
That's awfully graphic. The
It's
answer-
no, but it's a real life
Okay,
scenario
well,
that happens
calm
to
down.
many
The
people.
answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
Oh, okay, great.
So you're gonna have a child with 10 years old. There's gonna be a mother. Congrats to this man. No, it's like amazing.
So that's insane.
But let me tell you why. No, hold on. Let me ask you a question. There's 2 ultrasounds I have. One is a baby conceived in rape. One is a baby conceived by a loving couple. Which one is which? Which person?
No way say that the first one was no, it wasn't. It wasn't. She's 10, bro. What? Wake up.
Which person?
Okay,
here was-
I need to stop
which person
screaming.
here- Which
somewhat
person here
loving
was
couple.
conceived by rape? Tell me which one was conceived by rape.
You don't know.
Exactly, because it's all human rights
But
and it's all
that
human
doesn't
beings.
matter.
So
It's about your daughter who's
Let me tell you one thing. Imagine you are growing up and you know the story of how you went to this world. Do you think like a children or whatever thinks is happier knowing that? I'm telling you, if it happens to me, I will be like, bro. It will mess with my brain, and it's talking about, oh yeah, human rights, yeah, and I will be depression because of something that happened even before I went to this world, and knowing I am something that went from there. It's just really creepy. You know, if it happened with me, I don't know, maybe I would had some existing crisis. I don't even know how to talk anymore. Exists. I think you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I think the person will not feel,
to give birth to it and is going to be tortured by that for the rest of her life.
You are
That's
not.
going to take away every
Hold on a
freedom
second.
she's ever going to have.
Well, hold on.
That's going to
Every
ruin
freedom.
her life. She's
You
going to
know
grow
what?
up and she's going to be
Abortion is not a
attached to another
victimless
thing.
crime. The point is how you were conceived is irrelevant to what human rights you get.
But
hold on one second. If a person conceived in walks down the side of the street, it's not like they don't get First Amendment rights or Second Amendment rights.
It's
or
not
Fourth
about
Amendment
that
rights.
person.
The worst thing to do to that the daughter is to then say, "Hey, we're gonna go murder the being inside of you."
They wouldn't even know. Like, listen.
They wouldn't know.
Listen.
But wouldn't it be a better story to say something evil happened and we do something good in the face of evil instead of saying we're going to do evil and then murder the being because we're going to pander to the evil? No. What makes the West great is that we do good after evil, not evil after evil.
good. You think it's good after the You think? Oh, I think it thinks that after the bad thing happened, it's good to have like amazing. Like let me tell you, it's gonna for the scenario she gives like 10 years old, it's gonna become more problems than actually just solving it by but the way she's is evil good
It's
and
not about the being in the cells.
No,
It's not about no. I'm
I know.
speaking. No, I'm speaking.
we're both-
No, I'm
we're both
speaking.
clumps
No,
of cells.
I'm speaking. No,
We're
I'm
both
speaking.
clumps
No,
of
I'm
cells,
speaking.
okay?
No, I'm speaking. No, I'm speaking.
like let her yeah
My
let
son,
us
No, I'm
speak. She
speaking.
starts
Got it.
speaking and he
So it's
doesn't.
not. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking
No,
about
I
the
know you
person.
don't care about them.
No, I'm talking about the person who is dealing with the pregnancy. I am not talking about the cells. I don't
Oh, the
care. No,
cells.
listen. The fetus, the whatever. I don't care about that right now until it is
Wow.
formed.
When does it become formed?
If there is a 5-year-old child who is pregnant and the baby
Okay.
is 2 weeks in
5-year-olds
utero,
can't get pregnant.
actually
okay?
they have and they have given birth. There is
5-year-olds have given pregnant.
There
I
is
stand
one.
corrected.
There is one recorded.
Wait, let me see. It happens.
Case of a
Okay, I
5-year-old
stand
girl who
corrected.
gave birth.
Is that common?
Yes, it's common. 5-year-olds get sometimes, and
Okay,
if they get pregnant,
5-year-olds
I
get
think they should be
pregnant, then-
able to have medical access to something that could save not only just their life, but like their livelihood.
How many? I'm curious. How
I
many?
hope your daughter lives a very happy life and gets away from you.
Okay, so that is really nasty.
No,
And
the
so
end.
her belief system, just so we're clear, is that.
The time's up.
Yeah, no, I got it. It's fine. I mean, it's insanely nasty, and we'll talk again. My next claim is that college is a scam.
College is a scam. Now I get it why he's so dumb. Oh no, I'm kidding. I didn't went to college and I'm not that dumb. But college is a scam. College is not a scam. I mean, I can talk a lot about it because I didn't went to college, but it's not a scam. It's not, okay? It's not. Just stop. I think the first thing I would ask is like why you say that.
Hello.
What's your name?
I'm Maddox. How are you
Nice to
doing?
meet you. Good.
So, college is a scam.
Well, let's define our terms. College being traditional four-year college.
Of course.
University, not community college or technical college.
Of course.
A scam, if we can agree on a definition, is where a majority of people who will go through the institution or business, they're not getting their money's worth, their time's worth, and they're being deceived when they sign up. So do we agree on those terms?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Well, what would further definitions, what do you think is the purpose of going to college?
The purpose of college should be a traditional liberal arts education, pursuit of what is good, true, and beautiful.
Okay.
That's not what it is. It should be the betterment of yourself and your soul, nurturing your character and becoming a better citizen, understanding the deeper things in life.
But that's it. I think he was about to say it's a scam because you get out of college and you don't get to work of what you've been studying all these years. That makes sense. But it is what he's saying.
At the very least, though, it should be preparing one for the job market. Do you think college does those things?
I think it does, but I would add on to your point that I think not only is it for the betterment of yourself, but it's for the betterment of society. We need historians. We need certain majors that may not make as much money. I think those are for the betterment of society. Would you agree that there's some majors that may not make money, but are still essential to society?
It depends. Do you think that getting a degree in gender studies is good for society?
I would agree, yeah. Why?
Yeah.
would studying gender not be good for society?
Well, learning that men can give birth is not exactly a good use of time, is it?
Is that what they're teaching in college right
A lot
now?
of colleges, yeah. According to the Center for Disease Control, they no longer say women can give birth; they say birthing persons.
Okay.
Do you think men can give birth?
I think
Birthing persons because he's not a man. It's not about men. Bro, wake up. Doesn't exist like men and women. Exists a lot between it. So that's why persons. Wake up. It's the first of the month. Sorry. I'm trying to put it more, but softer. But I think I can't.
I think that.
Yes or no question?
I think that a person who is assigned male at birth, I don't think they can
Assigned
give birth.
male at birth, so people are not male at birth.
I think that a person.
See, your evidence that college is a scam, my friend.
College is a scam.
You're lacking in a lot of
Well,
wisdom.
here we can continue right now. So, gender studies. Do you think that studying gender is not essential? Should we not deepen our understanding
well, first of all,
of
I
gender?
don't think gender. We're going to get there later. I don't think gender exists. I think that there are two sexes, infinite personalities, and no genders. However, let's get back to the core contention.
Well, here, can I ask my question again?
Need
Real
the
quick?
personalities
Well, I
and
want to
genders.
get back to my core contention.
Okay.
A scam. So the majority of kids that go to college, if they end up getting a job at all, they end up getting a job that does not require a college degree.
Do you think that certain jobs that may not associate with a direct major can incorporate skills that you learn from a major? I think I'm an econ major, and depending on what job I do in the future, I can still use the skills learned from that.
So tell me about Milton Friedman.
Tell me about Milton Friedman. He is an economist from.
How about Thomas Sowell?
Thomas Sowell.
Ludwig von Mises.
Well, I will say that I'm a first year.
How about
I'd love to see you answer the gender studies question.
We will get there later. That's what psychedelics are for. Who's next?
Well, I think it's difficult to think about just one major, thinking about just gender studies. Like, sure, like not everyone should be a gender studies major. We need doctors, we need lawyers, we need everything. However, why does it matter if 10 people want to be a gender studies major and it matters to them? Like, not everyone can be a lawyer, not everyone can be a doctor. There needs to be some people, and you know what? Yeah, it sucks that some people do go to college and get a degree and then they end up not in a workforce for that. But I don't think that has to do with like college was a scam. It's more like maybe that just wasn't the path.
It's not because of the college. It's because of the way that the job world works. It's just stupid because you have it, but they don't accept you. Just
for them, or that life choice was just too hard to get for them. But some people are able to go to college and get a degree and use it, and that is super important because imagine if no doctors went to college, they're just like, I think I can do it.
Well, of course,
like,
doctors and lawyers need credentialing, right? But
so college.
Well, less than 5% of all people that go to college end up studying medicine or in legal. The vast majority go into soft social sciences, communications, or the humanities. So you're in college or have been, is that correct?
Yeah.
Are you forced to take classes that you think are a waste of time?
Yeah, I'm forced.
Okay,
You know what?
Hold on. So they're taking your money and they're forcing you that they're a waste of time. Kind of scammy, right?
Oh, I think that some classes.
Ooh, some. So you have to probably go in debt, right?
Depends.
Okay. Are you
on
going?
what
Are you
college
going
go
into?
to
Are you
and-
going into debt?
No.
Okay, well, that's good.
I picked a school that actually offered me a scholarship.
Oh,
and
so
I
someone
picked a
else is
school
paying
that
for your
was good.
college.
Oh, I don't know. Depends on me. I mean, that's
No, I'm
just
sorry,
a school
that's
that
fine.
wanted to give me an opportunity. But that's not what we're talking about.
Well,
we're talking
it is. No, we're
about
talking about the scam element, right? So you said
Right.
that there are some classes that if students had to go into debt or had to pay for,
Right.
would not be a good use of their time. So it's not representing students well.
Well, do you think like high school is a scam then? Because I had to pay for high school, but I'm not going to use AP US history in my psychology degree ever.
Well, I think AP US history is actually a really good use of time, knowing about your country and your history. And
well, but I'm not going to use that
Madison.
in my career. That's
Well,
what we're
you
talking
use it
about
in
in the
your-
career.
wait, but wait. That's two different things. You need to know the story of your country. You need to know the story of the world. For you to grow up and understand how it works. Like, why are the things happen this way? Because story, okay? I think she didn't give the best one. She could have go with arts. Everyone has arts in high school. Not everyone, wait. but elementary school, middle school, yeah, why not? And did everyone went to? No, it's for you to discover
Right.
yourself,
college?
maybe.
Let's go
The
back to
career
what I
path?
said, right? We said traditional college, right?
Okay.
Four-year college. And what a scam is, or a majority of the
Right.
people that will go through the enterprise, the business, or the institution are not getting their time worth or their money worth. So therefore, I go back to my core contention,
Okay.
which is a majority of kids that exit college will not use their degree at all when they go to find a job.
But if you ask them, do you think college is a
But
scam? I don't think
that's not a problem of the college. That's a problem with the job world. That's the difference.
majority of them are going to say yes. Some of them will. Some of them are
Well,
going to
not
be.
everyone who's being scammed actively knows they're being scammed.
But
People
it's
still
not-
buy erectile dysfunction drugs off the internet and they get
Okay,
scammed.
that's their own
People
like,
still,
personal choice,
people,
though.
Of course, people have choices to be scammed. I'm not saying they don't have a choice. I'm making an observation analysis of the institution. For example, flying Spirit Airlines, kind of a scam.
Okay.
Should be shut down. There is some, yeah, kind of agree. There are some things in life we have to take a step back and like, oh, the consumer is not
But
being well served.
you want to
And-
shut down a bunch of majors
I'm
in
not shutting- I've
colleges
never
that
said
you
that.
think are scams?
No, I never said that.
So what would your proposal be to
There's-
fix the scam
There
of
is no-
college?
There is no proposal. I'm simply, the contention is college is a scam
So then what's the point of that statement?
to get you to agree.
But like, what would that do? Like, what do you want to fix in college?
No,
that's going to help it not be a scam.
We can get to step interval 2 as long as you can agree that college is a scam.
No, because not for everyone. For me,
Well,
I'm
but a
using a
majority-
degree that's going to help me help people make better.
What are you studying?
Psychology and criminal justice.
Okay, so, and it's being paid for by somebody else, which is fine, that's good. So psychology and criminal justice, do you absolutely need to get a degree to be able to get into this?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess study it
Yes,
all.
like not everyone can be like this. Let me tell you, psychologists, they do some magic to your brain. I don't know how it works, but I was there for like 7 years and it completely changed all the system right here. I don't know how they do that, but they're really good, okay? So you need to study to know exactly how to act and what to say and what to do to help some person in a really specific I'm forgetting the word. Really a specific like a really specific case. That's it. Like it could be, for example, my case could be in general, but like anxiety case. But my whole thing, like historical and all that stuff, is really specific of myself. Maybe some people out there have like some some story that is close to mine, is identical, but it's not the same thing, you know. And people have different personalities. So someone to be a psychologist, you actually need to study to know how to help every patient that goes to you, because everyone is different, everyone has a different problem, everyone has a different story, and even though some people are identical, they are not the same. So yes, you need a degree for it, you need to study for it, you need to understand people, you need to, you know, like I said, they do magic.
But
So
it's just like makes more sense to go and have all these experience. I'm getting like wonderful experiences, internships all through my college.
So the
that's
only
helping
people that
me
get
go through it.
internships go
No,
to
it's
college?
just that this is a pathway that's really
Got it.
helping me.
So you know there's 11 million jobs open in the country right now that don't require a college degree. Do
Okay,
you
then
think-
the people
let
who
me ask you a
want those
question.
jobs can go get those jobs.
Do
I
you
am not
think
one
we
of those
push
people.
too many kids into college?
No.
Okay, so the national graduation rate is 59%. If I ask the room, everyone would agree that they know some people that went to college that did not graduate,
Yeah.
right? So we're probably sending too many kids into this institution.
But
He's
if
thinking.
they might have been able to do it, then like why is it not
And
worth
didn't
it to
even
try
went to
and
college,
to push
so-
yourself to
They-
get a better
they might-
education and
well,
go further in
leaving
your
with
life?
debt's a bad thing, right?
But some people are able to work through that, and it's like
Of course
an
some people are.
opportunity
But
thing.
when
It's
an
like a-
institution is multi-trillion dollars in scale, involves 23 million of our citizens every 4 years and is not actually bettering the country. For example, if college was so great, we would see incomes going up for Gen Z and millennials. We'd see more people able to own homes. Kids wouldn't.
No, no, no. It's not about it. It's like I said, is job world problem, not college. Not college.
I want you to come to my house here in Dubai this week.
Wait, but millennials, they had houses. I don't know what
I'm telling
they
you,
are thinking.
this is so ableist what you're doing, by the way. I'm telling you, right? Hello, what's your name?
Alize.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, she's so cute.
Okay, so let me start
Oh.
by saying, well, first of all, you said we're sending too many kids to college. Who's sending them? Who's forcing them?
Guidance counselors, parents, community.
Are they forcing them? Are they
Well,
signing them up
Hold on,
themselves?
forcing. I never said forcing, but you can have nudging.
Okay.
And forcing are two different things. We also subsidize college through the federal government. So you guys get subsidized interest rates,
Right.
scholarships.
I didn't see a lot of that actually in my school, in my middle school, like in my high school. Actually, like a lot of people want to go because of their parents. No, they wanted to go because they wanted to go. It's more about it.
And loans. So the taxpayer is nudging students and gently and sometimes forcefully pushing them into college. And you would agree it is an expectation if you grow up in a upper middle class home to go to college. You would agree with that. So there's a societal cultural push.
I didn't grow up in an upper middle class, so.
Okay, well, but would you see it from there? Would you see how that argument is correct?
I guess there might be a pressure, but no one's sending them. You're sending yourself.
Well, of course.
Well, we're all over the age of 18, right?
Right,
When you're in college, so you're sending yourself.
Right.
But that's besides the
But
point.
let's
That's
be
a different
honest.
point.
I mean, that's a silly argument. Yes, they're technically sending themselves. I was just at Arizona State University move-in. Everyone had their parents there. They were co-signing on loans. They were there helping pay for stuff. Parents, the ones that are still checking in. They're the ones that largely subsidize their lifestyle. Hey, mom, can you Venmo me $3,000 so that I can go out an extra night? Yes, of course, when you're 18 years old, you're the one signing on the dotted line. But there's enormous pressure and nudging and cultural expectation that students go to college.
Right. Okay. I think
Yeah,
the problem
but
here is that it's up to the person. You can't just go to college and expect to come out with a degree. You have to put the work in. You have to put the work in. You have to make connections. And some people might think college is just 4 years of partying and drinking and making friends, whatever. But you have to actually
Yeah.
put the work in. And if you put the work in, you make connections, and you can find a job right outside of college.
Well, no, not doubting that you can't find a job. It's just that 52% of them get a job that doesn't require them to get the degree.
But
But
most
that's
jobs
not-
offer incentive pay if you have a degree.
But that's not a problem of college. That's a problem of jobs. That's the difference.
And
But-
86%,
but then if that's the case, then
86% of
if-
people
if-
with a
if
degree
that is
get
true-
paid more than people with
Well,
just a
hold
high
on.
school diploma.
That's only if you count the ones at the top 10% of income earners. So not if you count humanities, not if you count people that study in the social sciences. If you count medicine or you count law, that's absolutely correct. However, the vast majority of kids that go to college are not studying medicine, law, engineering, business, finance. They're studying communications, social sciences, or humanities, which are on the lower income ladder. So as I mentioned, we have 11 million job openings in this country right now that do not require a college degree. I'm guessing in this room that within 4 to 5 years, you guys would kill to be able to earn $80 to $100,000 a year, yes? Do you know that in states across the country and in cities, they're offering apprenticeships to become plumbers and welders, electricians? That doesn't require for your college
Right.
degree. Entrance salary, $80,000 a year.
But again, 86% of people with a bachelor's degree earn more
No, I've already
than
told you-
people with a
I've
high school
already
diploma.
told you.
No, 86% of all people with a
I got
bachelor's
that,
degree.
But if you take out the top 10%, it's actually lower than those that don't go to college. So the reason that number, that average goes up is because the doctors and the engineers and the lawyers are the ones that bring that average so significantly up. But let me ask you a question. Do you think that there's any waste at all in the current college model?
Do I think there's any waste? I don't think we need all of it.
Okay, good. What part?
Well, you have to start with your core
But
classes.
that depends of person for person. Like in my high school, I had some parts of it, some that I don't think I needed, but it doesn't mean it was not worth it. It's all worth it because different people go there for different things. and different, like a degree can give you like different jobs, and not everyone's like this degree and this job, this degree and this job, it needs to be that job. No, it gives you different jobs. You can go to different jobs in that era. So it's normal. You're gonna like some things that you don't like other things, that you think some of them are a waste. But to your, even to your friend in the same era, maybe he thinks the classes you love and you think it's important, for him maybe it's not, it's just a waste of time, and he likes and thinks it's important the classes you think is a waste, and it's normal. Okay, it's normal.
And it's like high school. You're taking the same classes in,
So do you
in high
think,
school.
like, for example, do you think that... It's okay, nice to meet you. Thank you.
I'm Emily. Nice to meet you.
Emily. Thank you.
Earlier said that about 5% of college students are going into fields of like medicine, law, and engineering, was it?
Let me clarify.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
as far as they're going to be able to get postgraduate degrees. So they will go all the way up and get their Juris Master, or they will end up passing the bar or becoming a doctor, right?
Okay.
So it's easy to say doctors, lawyers,
Yeah.
but healthcare professionals, if you count nurses and people that work in healthcare, that number is closer to 20-25%.
Okay, so 5%. Who here has a doctor? Can you like raise your hand if you have a doctor?
Like a medical
A doctor, yeah. Like a medical
yes, I do,
doctor. Yeah, you do. Okay. 5% is still a lot of people, right?
Of course, but
Yeah.
that means 95% might not need to exist at the institution.
I don't think that's the takeaway. Just because 5%, which is still millions of Americans
Wait,
all
hold on a
across the
second.
board.
But if you were to say, hey, we only have medical schools, only have legal, we can get rid
Oh,
of
no,
gender
no, no.
studies, get
Yeah.
rid of... So what's the contention?
Well, gender studies is actually, if you look on like the pre-law track, gender studies is a pre-law track. If
Got
you're
it.
going to be a lawyer, you have to study gender studies and other social
That proves
cultural
my
studies.
point that college is a scam.
Why?
Why would a lawyer need to study gender studies? Shouldn't a lawyer
it's
know the law?
It's a social science. The
Why should a lawyer? You really ask it that? Yes, they should, because lawyers, they need to understand society, and not just that. I don't know how too much to talk about it, but it makes sense. It makes sense. Okay, it makes sense.
law, you think the law isn't inadvertently affected by social, cultural, and gender norms?
Of course it is, but shouldn't they first know the
It
Bill of Rights,
is.
the Constitution, the Federalist Papers?
We learned that in high
Marbury?
school.
Okay, so what is Marbury versus Madison?
I haven't been in high school for a really long time. I'm not trying to be a lawyer. Yeah.
So
I mean, high schools are like, it's public high
What was
school.
Brown versus the Board of Education?
That's for desegregating schools.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which Project 2025 wants to like defund the
Right.
Department of
So
Education.
who wrote the Constitution?
Founding fathers,
Names.
1778. I don't know.
It wasn't 1778.
I don't know.
Close,
Yeah.
You don't know?
No.
Okay. Well, this is the point: is that you don't learn it in high school. You don't even learn it in undergraduate, and our law school's not learning it. So maybe.
Well, I'm not in law school.
No, the point is that you were saying they already learned it, and they don't. I don't want this to be a pop
They
quiz or trivia.
do.
I didn't go
They
to college, and I'm
do.
asking.
They do. And even in high school, not even in high school, in middle school. Here in middle school, we needed to know the date when Constitution was made. But guess what? I don't remember. I'm really terrible at knowing dates, actually. I know some, but I don't know that one. And I didn't even know who made it. But I remember, basically, I needed to decode it and knowing that. Anyways.
Asking very basic civic questions, and you're paying to go to college and you can't answer them.
That's so fair, but I think.
Thank you. Sorry.
Oh my god, bro, are you okay?
Yeah, I have a question. Is church a scam?
No, because church is honoring the divine and the internal and the good and the true and the beautiful. Is college?
But it deceives
It's
people.
always going, he's always going with church. I don't get. Parker, come down, bro.
You give a promise of
Well, hold on.
everlasting life, which you don't actually get because Christianity is contradictory, logically speaking.
Do you want to get into a theological debate, or are we going to talk
Absolutely.
about college? Because
Both.
I completely disagree. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and we will have eternal life.
Okay, so how, if there is a
Okay, that's okay. But wait. No savior then started to play virtual angel in
Perfect
my
being that created
head.
the world. How could we exist in an imperfect world?
I'm
an
happy to
imperfect
have
creation?
this discussion. Can we go back to college?
Can we go back to college? But it doesn't have an answer for it, isn't it?
College though, because do you think because that's a little bit of a red herring and a little bit of a rabbit hole? Tell me what that has to do with college being a scam.
Well, I do think college can be a scam for certain people. I don't think it's a
Okay,
scam
so
for
we
everyone.
agree.
Though.
So
for people like me, college was very beneficial for me.
for sure.
Asking
Who is
you-
it a scam?
I'm asking
though?
you, based on your definition of a scam, do you consider the Christian church a scam?
Of course not. It's giving people eternal life and teaches them
Wait, but
goodness.
if Christianity is false, then that's a deception.
Okay, but you think it's false. I don't. We can agree to disagree. Also,
I'm not agreeing to disagree on that.
But we're not talking about the church. We're talking about college, right? So again, also people are not paying to go to church, are
But
they?
it's a reductio ad absurdum. Do you know what that is?
Ask the question.
You're not paying. You're not paying. I don't know how it works on America, but I know here in Portugal, when you go, you need to give money. Even is a little cent, but you need to get money. It goes like little children going to you with a basket, just like leave something. Like it's supposed to be like a gift to God. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know it's something like that. And let me tell you, it doesn't make sense because you know doesn't make sense you giving money to God. Signs, one of the things he hates the most is like people being crazy about money and all that stuff. So I don't get it why they just don't say, okay, you can give a little bit just to help the church with things. It was more, because we know it's for it, okay? It's not for God, obviously. Like how they could give, but they could just say, oh yeah, this is for the church to help us. They couldn't lie about it, saying, oh yeah, this is for God and all that. No, it's not. It's help the church. It could be like telling, it's not telling the truth, it's being forgetting the name. Forgetting the name. Anyways, they could say the truth and be like, oh yeah, now it's the time, and he goes there and you can give something to the church, it's okay. People will still help you, okay? It's not just saying, oh yeah, it's not. It's a help church with chargements like bills and stuff. And it's okay. It's okay. You just don't need it to be like, oh yeah. You know? I think I'm not explaining it well too because I don't know that much. I went when I was a kid. So yeah. But anyways.
Absurdum.
That's the Latin term that means reducing down to the lowest common belief, correct?
Yeah, so I'm taking
Am I right? I didn't go to college. I knew that.
I'm taking your particular position.
Let me ask you a question without you interrupting me. Do you pay to go to church?
No, I don't. Some people do. They're forced to pay based upon their particular denomination.
And today, do you pay to go to church?
Depending on the church.
No, you don't. Do you have to go to debt to go to church?
In some circumstances, people do because they have to give up 10% of their income to be able to do that, which people can't afford.
Which circumstance?
Well, they're LDS. You understand that a lot of LDS churches specifically require 10%.
Yeah, they don't require it. And what you're
they
talking
do in
about,
plenty of places.
Well, you're asking mainline Christian.
Isn't there stigmatization
belief.
if you don't do that?
Okay, you're good at interrupting, not good at answering.
Well, you haven't answered any of my questions yet.
I did say no. Church is not a scam. Church is the bride of Christ. College is a scam, and college is people are going into debt. They're paying a lot of money. But I want to ask you a question. You said it's a scam for some people. Who's it a scam for?
Yeah, for people who specifically aren't ever going to use it, never use any of the knowledge
So
that they receive from it. Well, you say 52%. I don't think you can qualify 52% of people don't do that.
What number would you say?
For example, my job, that's not going to be recommended as an economics degree. Most economics majors are going to go into TikTok debating online. But I use the information that I learned in college in my job on a daily basis. I still use relevant qualities that are then used in my job later on.
What percentage of kids that go to college are being scammed?
I don't think anyone knows that.
Can you
Because
guess?
it's dependent upon an individual. I have no clue.
Shouldn't we try to find out?
Well, if you'd like to find some empirics on that, I'd love to see it.
I just did. So
Well,
41%.
that's not a source.
Well, the Department of Education is a source.
No, the Department of Education doesn't say 41% of people it was a scam for,
Hold
or
on.
that they didn't use any of the information they learned in college.
You are using.
So are you saying none of them used any of the information?
Can I say 3 words without you interrupting me?
Do any of them
How
use
about
the information
4?
later on?
Can I say 5 words without interrupting
you
me?
can
I would love to.
Multiple times.
So since you say college is a scam for some people, it's a ballpark. For the kids that do not graduate, 41% that ended up going and not graduating, were they scammed?
No, just because you go and pay for a particular thing, but then you don't follow through with it, doesn't mean you were scammed.
Maybe they were
You
misled.
decided.
It just means that you didn't feel like you were there. It wasn't for you. That's what it means. It's the same thing if you go to a job. I mean, you don't spend money. I mean, you spend money going to the job and going back home, there's sports and all this stuff. But anyways, you go into a job, you stay in that job, they pay you all of that stuff, but then you go away. Why it happens? It happens because maybe you find it's not for you. And it's the same thing with college. It's okay. Okay? I had one girl in my class that one girl and actually a guy too. Yeah, they were for the second time on 10 they were again starting middle school in a different course because the first one wasn't that for him. One of them was arts, and it makes sense because it's multimedia arts. It makes sense. If I didn't went to a professional way, maybe I went to arts. Not sure. And the other one was completely different because it was like cooking, something about cooking, and then went to multimedia because that's what the person was feeling. That's what the person liked. That's what the person wants. It doesn't mean like cooking was a scam. It wasn't a scam because she's still learning from it, and actually sometimes she bring like this cooking things she does, and then she goes and gives to us, yeah, to us, like our group, her friends, the stuff. I don't know if I don't remember if she wanted a gift to everyone, like the whole class. I don't remember. I just know that sometimes she did like little things and she bring it. And it was actually really good. Does it mean it's a scam? No, it's not a scam. Actually, another thing I have to say about is like I talk about the guy that was on arts, and then so he made this drawing that was so amazing, and it was literally in our school. Yeah, my TV just like it. It was literally exposed on our school. And actually, the arts, I think it helped him a lot about the design stuff and all the stuff because he had really great ideas and he could do the ideas the right way he wanted. Like, I don't know what were the reasons of both of them to not give up but changing. Um, but yeah, I think both of them, it wasn't a scam for both of them like the before. So in college, if you don't get to graduate and you get out, maybe it's life problems or things like that. And I think you can even if you are in college and you get out of college, I think you can freeze it and you have like a little time to come back. I mean, I think it happens here in Portugal. I'm not sure. I don't know about America, but I know a case that was like that. They freeze. I don't know if the person ever went to come back, but um they just went away from college. They freeze where they were, and then here in some time they could go back. Yeah, but yeah, if you guys know, tell me. Tell me to understand better
To
because
pay for it.
I
But
don't know.
some people are misled.
Do you
Some people are
think that every-
stigmatizing to these things.
do you think
but
that every-
some people are misled in the church.
Do you
And you
think-
never answered my question
Well,
on that because
I-
you're trying to
I did.
take that time down so that you don't have to answer the question
Well,
about
hold on.
Christianity
Well,
because
so-
you know your worldview looks terrible.
Well, what about Christianity do you want me to answer? We're talking
Well, I think it's
about college.
false. Or because I was saying,
Okay.
is church a scam? If church is a scam, that'd be predicated off of the
Okay,
idea that
but-
you're deceived into believing that there's everlasting life,
Okay, but you
specifically from
believe that
Christianity.
again.
So Christianity has to be true. So can you grant that? What's the argument?
Christianity is true. Did the
What's the
resurrection?
argument?
You're gonna let me finish 3 words in a row?
Appreciate it.
Okay. Did the resurrection happen?
I don't think the resurrection occurred.
Okay, I disagree.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. A perfect creator, is it possible for them to not desire something imperfect?
Is a perfect creator? I'm sorry. What? Well,
There's a perfect creator that desires everything that's just perfect. How can they desire something imperfect, flawed?
Well, because maybe they want to get to know themselves. Maybe they want to see their own creation. Maybe they love
They
their
want to get to know them? Or he's all-knowing.
Can I finish? Can I finish talking here? Okay. Maybe because God loved the world so much that his creation, which rebelled against him, given agency and free will, rebelled against them, then got eternal life, what we actually deserve, and then sent his son on a rescue mission to save us from that. The church is the bride
That didn't actually save it because the world keeps worse. The world keeps worse.
of Christ will save us from damnation that we deserve. College is far from the bride of America. It's currently scamming the youth of this
The
country.
bride of America or the bride of the world? Because you know that Christianism is in the whole world. It's just that in America. So saying the bride of America. Okay. Anyways.
And sending them into oblivion.
Didn't answer the question.
I did.
No, you didn't say how they could desire something imperfect.
How well God can
We'll
do
talk
anything.
about that later. Don't
God
worry.
can do anything. So
Oh, even something
Really?
logically contradictory?
it's not logically contradictory.
To desire something imperfect.
Can an unstoppable object hit a immovable force?
Okay, done.
Hey, before we go any further, we want to take a moment to say thanks so much to Straight Arrow News for powering the fact checks in this video.
Okay. We don't want.
Women are not women.
What did he say?
Yeah, my next claim is that trans women are not women.
Now I think we can give this video ended. Bye. Bye. Let's keep going.
Okay. What's your name?
Sam.
Nice to meet you. Let's define our terms. A woman is an adult female with XX chromosomes. You tell me, what is a woman?
I think a woman is.
XX chromosome. It just started like that. It just started like that. It just started like that. You know that's woman out there that is not like XX. Is XW. XW? Wait. X, how do you say that? Wait, what? X E A I don't know anymore. Like if the case of that woman from Olympics that a lot of people were like, oh, but yeah, but she's a trans woman. No, she's a woman. She's a cis woman that born it that way. And then a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, but she has more she's stronger and all that stuff because she has that the way she born and all that stuff. Yeah, but you go to a lot of people um of that of Olympics, like people that are crazy and amazing on Olympics, and you go to see why they are like that, and it's about physics and things they born with. They born like that, so that's why they're really good at that. So I don't get it why people are. Anyways.
Somebody who identifies as a woman.
Got it. So that's not a definition. That's like saying a table is something that identifies as a table. Give me an objective definition of
No, it's not a table.
Bro, a table can talk, can read, can eat, can all that stuff. No, so stop right there.
A table is an object.
Well,
A table can't identify as anything. It doesn't have
but
choice.
you have to give me an objective definition of what a woman is.
If I decided right now that I wanted to identify as a woman, I would be a woman.
Okay, but that doesn't answer the question.
I know, but
that's like that. That's exactly. That doesn't answer the question. Yes, it answers the question. Yes, it answers the question. Yes, it answers the question.
But right now,
yes,
I'm
it
a man,
does.
right? So if that happened right now, I'd be a woman. So
is.
once a person makes the decision to identify as a woman,
Got it. No,
they're a woman.
that's a separate issue. What is a woman?
That's the definition.
No, I know, but you have to tell me what.
A person who identifies themselves as a woman.
But you have how do you know that they are that thing?
How do I? I don't need to know what they. I can ask them.
How do you know they are like? Wait. It just went like fast. I don't know why. Is saying like, how do you know? How do you know? You just ask them what they identify with. Simply as that.
Objective definition of what a woman is.
If I decided right now that I wanted to.
Wait, I thought this.
No, but right now I'm a man, right? So if that happened right now, I'd be a woman. So
is.
once a person makes the decision to identify as a woman,
Got it. No,
they're a woman.
That's a separate issue. What is a woman?
That's a separate issue. No, that's exactly what it is. That's not a separate issue. That's the answer.
You have to tell me what.
A person who identifies themselves as a woman.
But you have how do you know that they are that thing?
How do I?
How do you know they are that thing? Just ask. Just
I
ask.
don't need to know what they are. I can ask them if I want to know.
But there needs to be. You need to tell me what that thing is, though.
Somebody who. Okay, sorry, we're not getting anywhere. We're not getting anywhere.
Well, no, it's important because it's like saying a giraffe is a thing that looks like a giraffe, or a coyote is a thing that looks like a coyote. It's called circular reasoning. You have to give me a actual definition.
I don't have to. I did give you a definition.
No. You said that a woman is something that thinks they're a woman. That doesn't give me.
Not thinks. Identifies. That's different. Identifies as a woman. Simply as that. Simply as that. They identified as a woman, so they are a woman. And you know that it's a woman for the way they show. If they identify as a woman, they're gonna dress as a woman. You know? I mean, if they identify as a woman and 100%, they gonna be a woman and 100%. And they gonna dress and act like a woman and 100% because they identified as a woman and 100%. Okay? That's exactly what is a trans woman. They are a woman because they identify as a woman. So they are a woman and 100% a woman. Simply as that. Simply as that. And you know that it's a woman. Okay? Anyways.
A definition that's simply.
What would you consider a definition then?
An adult female with XX
No.
chromosomes.
I mean, like, what makes that a definition?
Hello.
Hi.
Juliana?
Juliana,
I remember,
yeah.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think that you can define a woman just by her chromosomes. Women are so much more than that. They come in a variety of shapes, sizes, colors. And I don't necessarily think that you can count out somebody who's trans just because they don't have a certain set of chromosomes. There are also people who are born I'm drawing a blank.
Okay. Intersex?
Yes.
So
yes.
XXY or YYX.
Or just or like
sure.
X0 with nothing.
So natural mutations upon the binary, essentially, right?
Yes. So.
But they don't have both sex organs that both operate, right?
Yeah, but that also I don't think necessarily.
Did you guys see what he was about to say? Listen, in this case, you need to listen. You need to listen.
So natural.
Then he changed it
upon the binary, essentially, right?
Yes. So.
But they don't have both sex organs that both operate, right?
Yeah, but.
I couldn't be there and being like, I was about. What are you about to say? What are you about to say?
That also I don't think necessarily works, right? Because if it's X,
One
just
is more
X, and
dominant than
there's
the other. So
okay,
you're either
that's.
more male or more female, right? So you might have both a penis and vagina, but there's never been a case of someone who can impregnate themselves.
Okay. I also don't necessarily think that works for this situation, but I also want to say that one of my best friends is trans, and I would say that she's more of a woman than I am. I think that women define themselves by multiple things, not just their sex organs. If somebody asked me who I was as a woman, I would not say I have a vagina.
Totally fair. So no, I think you said something smart. So you said that person is more of a woman than you are. Therefore, you're grading off a definition of something accomplishes womanhood. What is that?
I think it's, well, that's the thing too, and I do think that gets a little complicated, right? Because there are social norms for a gender, but I do think we try to break that, right?
No, for sure. But you said that specific friend is more of a woman than you are. Why?
I think she's a better person than me. I think she lives
women are
life.
better people?
She's a better woman than I am. I'm not saying women are better people.
But what makes a woman a woman? Because you said she's more of a woman than you are. So I want to know what that definition is.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna let somebody else go.
That's all good.
Thank you.
Yeah, she didn't know how to answer that.
Okay. All right, Parker, what is a woman?
A woman is an adult human person that has a desire to be in accordance with a particular set of social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the female sex. Now, define a man. Define a man.
You're looking at one, XY chromosome.
That one was like slay. Slay.
Female sex. Now, define a man. Define a man.
No, we're not slay. It was like pow.
Looking at one, XY chromosomes in a.
Okay, but does God the Father have XY chromosomes?
Okay.
Prior to incarnation?
We literally have a religious topic
He's a father and he's he/him, but he's not a man?
We have a religious
Wait, so a man is someone with XY chromosomes, but he doesn't have XY chromosomes, yet he's still a man, and he still uses preferred pronouns?
It's actually very interesting. In the original Hebrew, Adonai, do you know what Adonai is? It's the Hebrew word for God. It's actually genderless, but in the scriptures, they use he.
So, God is actually genderless. And anyways.
Right? And they use the masculine. Jesus Christ came to earth as a man, not as a woman, not as genderqueer. But let's go back to the...
But God the Father's a man, right? Because all fathers are men.
Well, first of all, there's a trinity. So God the Father is neither man nor woman. He is omniscient, omnipotent. He is all being on top of
So why do you use he?
Good question. You could say they. You could say they. You don't know. You don't know why you're assuming that.
The scriptures do. You could use woman. You could say her. You could use him. But the way that the language is structured, again, it is so. God the Father is so above gender. It is so above any of our understanding.
Then why use
with
him?
Glory and understanding. Again, because you have to make a choice, either he or him or her.
But why? But why you have to make a choice? Why? Why you have to choice? Why you have to choose a gender for something that is bigger than you? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
In the original scriptures. Let's go back to. I'm happy
some
to get into
fathers
that,
aren't men and boys.
So I'm.
So some fathers are not men and boys. Not men or boys.
I'm sorry.
Some fathers are not male.
No, of course they are. I'm not.
Wait, so God the Father's a male?
Hold on, God the Father. So where do we get God the Father from? What Greek word?
From your scripture.
Well, from Abba, right, which is a very close personal term.
You're not answering my questions, and you're bringing up random language that doesn't matter.
Well, it actually does.
No, it doesn't.
But let me get down to the root of it, because
he's not a man. You know he's not a man under your worldview. Yet you still use his preferred pronouns. You still call him a man.
Christ is a
man. You don't do that with trans people because you're transphobic. That's why.
Okay, got it. But Christ is a man. I'm happy to get into the sexuality and
Before
gender
incarnation, he's not.
of the Trinity. Okay.
Before incarnation, there's no penis. There's no XY chromosomes. There's no small gametes.
Hold on a second. Let's think about it. If that's correct, how is it then Jacob saw the face of God?
Okay, so if there's
hold on. If there was not before the incarnation, how did Jacob see the face of God? How did Jacob wrestle with
Characters
God?
can have faces without biology.
But can God be of the like the way that we see him, her, whatever, the way we see it, should it be the way we think about it? I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually explaining well. uh, yeah. Anyways.
How did Jacob wrestle with God?
So okay, do you think that he has a body?
Well,
or was that a figurative notion of wrestle?
That's a mystery of the scriptures. I'm not here. To, well, it is. I'm not here to debate theology. Can we go back to what we're talking
does
about?
He actually have biology? You keep trying to pivot because you know this debunks you.
Well,
what biology does your God have?
Well, the one of Christ our Lord.
No, I meant before incarnation.
Well, to be honest, I don't quite know, and I don't think the scriptures are.
So you don't know what a man is?
Well,
you can't define what a man is?
It's a little opaque. Again, you're looking at a man.
But your video, the largest video on TikTok is, what is a woman, 20 million views, but you don't know what a man is under your own worldview?
I said you're looking at a man, right?
Wait, but God the Father doesn't meet that criteria.
Am I looking at a man?
Yes, you are.
Okay, good. Just making
a man that's beating you in a debate right now.
Okay, that's fine. So let me ask you a question, though. So
you are.
Okay, good. Just making
a man that's beating you in a debate right now.
Okay, that's fine. So let me ask you a question, though. So
are you looking in the mirror right now? Yes, a man that is beating you right now. Okay.
Do you think that anybody can become a woman?
I think that anyone who meets my criteria is a woman.
What's your criteria again?
Again, adult human person that has a desire to be in accordance with a particular set of social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the female sex.
Can society ever be wrong?
Sure, but like it's a
Ooh, we can pick that and go further to other questions, my friend. Society ever be wrong? Yes. Yes, sir. That's why we can pick that and talk about a lot of other stuff.
Desire to be in accordance with a set of social and cultural norms.
Can I become black if I wear blackface?
No, because it's not a desire that you have to be in accordance with a particular set of social and cultural norms.
Wants to be black?
Because race is defined. No, because it's not a desire that you have to be in accordance with a particular set of social and cultural norms.
What did it ask?
Sure, but like it's a desire to be in accordance with a set of social and cultural norms.
Can I become black if I wear blackface?
No, because it's not a desire that you have.
Bro, doesn't make sense what you just said. Doesn't make any sense, bro. It doesn't have anything to do with anything, because you decide no, you feel like a woman. It's you that feel like a woman. You are not actually offending anyone for you feeling you're a woman, that you are a woman. It's literally, it's literally yourself feels like a woman. You're not offending anyone. But the fact that you are white, you're born white, and you're just like, oh no, I want to be black today. No, okay? You don't belong to that community. You don't belong to that. Oh, this man.
Have to be in accordance with a particular set of social and cultural norms
to be black?
Because race is defined phenotypically based upon the expression to other people.
But by some standard, you're judging that.
Do you think there's a phenotypical expression of someone who's white and someone who's black? Like, I see you're white because of your phenotypical expression.
Right. So, but do you think, but Rachel Dolezal that said she is black and culturally black, is she black?
Does she have phenotypically characteristics we would associate
Define
with people
phenotypical. I'm not sure what that word
means. It's going to be the expression.
So
of
melanin
a particular
content in one
characteristic.
skin.
Yes.
Okay. So she could pass as a black person.
No.
So she doesn't have the melanin content.
She's borderline.
No.
Heavily.
Okay, so then she's not black.
Okay, so you're able to say who is black and not black?
That's how we define it in society. No.
Okay, got it. So, but is there an objective definition of who is black?
Wait, Language is all subjective. Linguistics professionals indicate it's subjective.
Language is all subjective.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Every
really?
word you just used was created by other human beings that are engaging in conversation.
No,
you might think it's created by God, but even then it's still subjective.
Got it. But now we're getting somewhere.
God's a subject.
Now we're getting somewhere. Is the word and the value behind murder objective or subjective?
Well, I think morality is subjective, but you think it's subjective too because it comes from God.
That's interesting.
Wait, does it come from God or independent of God?
Well, no, of course it comes from God. It's transcendent.
That's subjective. That's subjective. Yes, it is.
No.
If it comes from God, it's specifically subjective. If it comes independent of God, then it's objective.
No,
what you just told me is also compatible with moral anti-realism.
So let's go back to the Ten Commandments.
You don't understand metaethics.
Well, hold on a second.
What does subjective morality mean? What does it mean?
Subjective morality means that it comes in everybody's own opinion, their own form.
True
not
dependent upon a
objective.
stance.
Again,
God is a stance, and that's the truth of morality.
So if let's believe. Do you believe in if everybody believed in the concept of God, the transcendent God, that there was a 10 Commandments and we should live by them, right? Is that objective morality?
No. Just because people agree doesn't make it objective.
Okay, then what?
Again, independent of a stance.
What is
agreeance is not independent of a stance.
What is objective morality then? Sorry, thanks. We'll be back at it next time.
Com o novo eu consigo trabalhar até cá fora.
Eu escolhi o novo porque os amigos são para a vida.
No way, we are almost 2 hours in this.
Na novo.
I told you this was about to take a long time.
Mason,
oh my God.
How are you? Nice to meet you. Okay.
So I think it's a little scummy that you're plagiarizing the whole Matt Walsh thing. Like your thing is the worship of Israel and everything like that.
I pay him royalties.
Okay, for sure. Well, do you want to talk about sex first, or do you want to talk about gender?
I don't think gender exists. I think it's a term that John Money and Judith Butler created over the last 40 years that basically is a filler for personalities.
Okay, well, if we're talking about
That's why in everywhere people ask your gender. That's why in like important papers about state and all of the stuff, people ask your gender. That's why when I'm going to do my CC, they ask about my gender. Anyways.
sex, which it seems like you're saying is the exact same thing, would you say sex is binary by definition?
For sure, yes, absolutely.
Okay. So you're already incorrect. Like sex is not binary, it's bimodal. So if we look at a distribution graph, we're going to see people in two camps majority of the time, but there are going to be externalities on both ends of the spectrum and in the middle.
For example, like
so we already talked about intersex.
Right. However, with intersex though, they are mutations of a binary, correct?
No, we're talking about.
Hold on, but.
Not no.
We're talking about an entire spectrum.
Which sex
you're by
is
definition
dominant,
defeating your expression of what a binary is by saying that there are externalities.
But let me ask you a question. Like XXY.
Charlie,
for example,
you're trying to create this own box.
Bro, sorry, I needed to pause. I just listened that and
then use any examples that are outside of that box
you brought up
to justify that box again.
You brought up intersex.
We're talking about reality.
You brought up intersex.
Okay.
What sex organs? Which one is more dominant?
What do you mean?
In an XXY situation.
Can you explain your point of view?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have more female characteristics and male characteristics in an XXY, or it might be YYX. One of the two. The point is that you do not have both.
We could see people with female reproductive organs that have XY, and we can see the vice versa, people with male reproductive organs that have XX.
So I think you said something about gender, though. I think that's more interesting to get into.
Okay.
Do you understand how the conversation?
So we're moving off of sex because you're ceding that argument.
No, I'm not ceding it.
Okay.
You want to keep going into it?
We can if you'd like.
Okay. So besides male and female, what categories exist?
We have people that are intersex. We have people that are on the
male, female, everything in the middle. You have everything in the middle, like a lot in the middle. You know,
other ends of the bimodal distribution graph. Are you aware what bimodal means versus binary?
Somewhat of an understanding. Yeah.
Okay, well, so you can be presented with a graph after this by the people that you brought with you, but it's actually a bimodal distribution.
Just like constantly going to condescending type talk is not going to be fruitful.
I'm just trying to match your energy with the people that you treated that were trying to have a conversation.
Got it. So trans women are not women. Do you agree with that?
I would say that trans women are women because people that exist under the category of women, people that exist under the category of men are still humans.
Got it. So that category, how is that defined?
Well, I wouldn't limit it to things like genitals or things like chromosomes, which it seems like you want to do. What type of genitals would you say I have since you're so obsessed with genitals?
I'm not obsessed with genitals, but I could do a blood sampling right now and I could see exactly what you are because every single one of your trillions of cells are either coded with XX or XY. No matter how much surgery or whatever, I think that you are a man, but you could fool me. You could take hormones. You could play camouflage. Like, I could fool you to be Hispanic if I had the right Hollywood makeup director. That doesn't mean that you are the thing, though.
But you're going from an objective biological perspective, which we've already talked about with sex. I'm talking about a social construct or a social utility.
Yeah.
So like if we were at a restaurant, right? I'm sitting down at,
you're a man.
and I'm sitting down at the table, and you're telling the waiter, "Hey, I want to go sit with blank. What would you use?"
With you?
He doesn't know my name. Yeah.
Well,
So I'm sitting over there.
That guy.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
That guy. You're going to typically use he or him, or you're going to say that guy, like you just said.
Correct.
Because you're ascribing the male gender to me based on my
Yes, and
performative
I
characteristics.
say I could be an error. Maybe you are a biological woman.
And then you'd correct yourself, right?
That take maybe not.
So that's what we. That is exactly what we're trying to say.
Hold on,
is,
so the question is that, do you think that womanhood can then be assumed just through costume design?
It's not costume design.
What is it?
It's not costume design. It's the way that the person feels about herself. It's the way that the person feels she is, knows she is. You know, it's not about the costume. It's not a costume. It's so much more than that.
It's performative social characteristics.
So you could act
that's
it.
what gender is.
Okay,
great
got
job.
it. So you could it's like a theater troupe.
It's not a theater troupe. These are social. These are social
womanhood
categories.
can be appropriated.
No, they're categories. That's
so,
what it is.
So there's nothing inherent about the chromosomes. There's nothing that.
Correct. Yes.
Wow, we disagree. So there's nothing inherent about having a period or being able to give birth or the specific hormonal makeup.
In different cultures, we've ascribed.
Wait, but trans women can also give birth, and they also have period. I'm not. They also have that. Some of them.
That to women.
But it happens
if you go
too,
back
so-
to other cultures spanning thousands of years, you'll see a difference when it comes to those.
Like,
types
for
of
example, the
categories.
Mayans had plenty of people that were schizophrenic, right? So that means nothing to me, right?
Okay,
so,
we have people that say they're hearing things from God. Would you say that's schizophrenic?
Well, not necessarily. It built West.
No way. Anyways.
Western civilization and
Okay,
common law and due process and individual rights.
I just
and
wanted to hear that you're
defense of the unborn and the greatest civilization ever. You know, that voice from God happened to build the greatest nation ever to exist in the history of the world. That's
okay.
fine.
I think the Mayans would say the same.
Greatest nation? Are we the greatest nation? We are literally destroying ourselves. Everyone is like, oh yeah, there's no planet B. Yes, it's a planet B. Planet will stay here. We don't. Okay? Planet will stay, but we are not gonna stay. We are killing ourselves. And you are telling, oh yeah, made the greatest. No, we didn't make the greatest because we are stupid. I just say it.
Problem with presuppositional
Yeah,
arguments
let's go down.
is that you could say anything.
Can we go visit?
I mean, God's telling me right
Can we go
now
visit
that
the Mayan
you're a
nation?
fish. Do you think that's real?
Can we go visit the Mayan nation? They didn't last that long, did they?
Yeah, over killing and violence, and you can justify that if you like.
You mean
if
all
wanna
the
keep
child
going into it.
sacrifice
And
they
this is
did
the
on the top
condescending
of
tone that
temples?
why I'm trying to match it is because
You mean all the child
understanding.
sacrifice the Aztecs, Mayans, and Incans did on the top of temples? Great
Do
civilization.
you want to go back into the Old Testament? Let's bring Parker up in here
But-
and talk about
hold
all
on,
the
wait,
child
hold on, no.
child marriage,
hold
and we
on,
can talk
wait,
about the justification of rape.
Where was child sacrifice ever?
Was child sacrifice? Was woman sacrifice? Was man sacrifice? Was
in the Bible?
When Isaac was almost fucking sacrificed
Hold
by
on.
his dad.
He wasn't though, because at the beginning of Genesis,
Yeah, so God just said like, nah, just kidding, dog.
Yeah,
Don't actually
you know
kill
why?
your son.
Because at the beginning of Genesis 16 said, "I'm going to test
To prove
Abraham."
obedience,
Ah,
yes,
yeah, that's
correct,
right. So now
yes.
you know it. So actually, there was no child sacrifice in the Bible. It was a prohibition on child sacrifice in the Bible. But anyway,
Gotcha.
that's a little bit of a rabbit hole. Do you understand at least? Can you sympathize with our perspective?
Okay.
That.
I'll calm it down a little bit. I apologize for the
No, it's
condescension.
fine. I mean,
but
you're doing it's fine. But did you see where this could get wildly out of control? At least on the
I
extreme.
don't see how to get out of control because
even in sports, for example, you think that there's
Okay.
no.
So this is something that we might be able to agree upon, right? Sports were not archaeologically dug up, right? The rules of sports, they are things that we've created as a society. We have decided as a
course.
society the most fair categorization is male sports and female sports. Now, as we've been able to understand or at least bring into the forefront people who don't identify with the binary, we still have to allow all people that are women in the women's category and all men that are men in the women's category. That includes cis and trans. If you'd like to change that category because you think it's unfair, we can do that. That's what's awesome about arbitrary rules is we can
So,
decide hormones.
I might not know this, but like when the Greeks started the Olympics 2,000 years ago, did they have like a bunch of dudes wrestling with women?
I don't even think they allowed women to compete.
Well,
I might be wrong on
but,
that.
but that kind of proves the point, though, that there was
Exactly. Even women could do theater.
Yeah, and what did we
So
do to allow women? We changed the rules.
Right, no, but that, by definition, therefore, there is something from body composition, bone mass, lung density, testosterone, and estrogen rates.
Yeah.
Your endocrinology is
So
different.
if you'd say the majority of males in the bimodal distribution graph, we're going back to that, you can say, hey, we want this level of hormones in this particular category, and we can separate it by hormones. I agree with you that a majority of men or majority of cis men are.
You got to be like 99.9%.
I don't know. Ronda Rousey could kick my ass. I will say that.
No, for sure. But
Okay.
I mean, but could she kick Conor McGregor's ass?
Well, now we're talking about the peaks, right?
But
The
she's
peaks
at the
of
peak, though.
cisgender.
No, because you're talking about the peaks of two different categories in the same sort of.
Right, because why? She's a cis woman.
She's a cis woman.
exactly. She's just stronger because she born like that. That's why I couldn't go to the boats. I was like, oh, you stupid, you dumbass. No, I'm actually just like this because I'm reacting. You know. Wait, what happened to my TV? What is going on here? What the heck? Okay.
And
Correct.
He's
A cis man.
But yes, and
Correct.
he could kick her tail, right?
Yes, I would agree.
Oh, okay, for sure, right?
Because cis men and cis women have different hormone levels.
No,
if you want to change the hormones, we can change the categorization.
But
you're saying that you want men and women, bar none, and you say that's the most fair category. Then we have to allow all women and all men.
Well, but again,
Yes.
those things don't. So I just want to be clear. So because I think I'm tracking your argument, is that in the University of Pennsylvania swim team, when Thomas swam against biological women, you're perfectly fine with that.
I think as long as we have the categories that way.
Thanks.
Good to meet you.
Yeah. I want to get him in. This isn't debated yet. No, you're fine. You're fine. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Preeti. Nice to meet
Brittany,
you.
nice to meet you. Go ahead.
Preeti.
Preeti, nice to meet you.
P-R-E-E-T.
I'm sorry.
You're totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of want to go back to a little earlier. You said that Parker has lower T than you. So would you say?
All a joke.
Yeah.
I
No.
think I'm right,
I'm fully aware it's a joke. But I guess like on that point, do you think that like T has to do, or testosterone has to do with your manhood?
No.
Like
Well, yes and no. I mean, if you are looking at typical testosterone estrogen rates of women, they are far different than those of men. But
right.
For
But
example, like your testosterone.
Yeah, but women, when they are in the time of the month, they become men. The levels just go. Yeah.
Testosterone rate goes down when you have children. For
Okay,
example,
but
when you're a man, that doesn't make you less of a man. They go down by about 400 points.
Okay, but like when we were talking earlier about like sports, right?
Mhm.
And you were saying that the reason why it's unfair for like for example, a trans woman who used to be a man to be like competing in women's sports, you cited that they have higher testosterone levels.
One
correct?
of about 50 characteristics. Also, lung density. Men's hearts are bigger.
Okay.
We have greater bone
But those-
density, muscle mass.
Okay,
Tend
but
to
those
be faster. Tend to be
yeah,
stronger.
I understand. But like those
You know, trans woman takes a lot of procediments and a lot of different things to become more of a woman. So some like 50% of our men side goes away. You know, I don't know how to explain that. I don't know because I never did that procediments.
factors all come from the
So
hormones during the development process, correct?
No, not necessarily. No.
I mean, most of them do.
Well, not all of them. So, for example, you could try to pump a young girl's body with testosterone at 8 years old, and you can get them stronger. You cannot necessarily get them on par with a biological male at puberty. You cannot. You could try.
Okay, but like
because there's something in the coding of our genetics.
the coding of our genetics, which is often like controlled by
wait, but the coding of our generics is not a coding of a computer. It's different. Okay, the coding of generics is something neutral, and the coding of like a computer or a software or whatever is something that you do exactly the same thing. I don't know how to explain this better, but I think you guys get the point. I think you guys get the point. We are like 2 hours in this. 2 hours in this. Oh my god.
different, like I guess, parts of our DNA and also the hormones that are produced that affect the effective
But
coding
we're
of how
more than
you're
endocrinology, but it's a
produced.
big part. Because, for example, if you just give a kid testosterone, that doesn't even get them close to becoming a male, or estrogen giving them a female.
Okay.
They might get characteristics that are close to that.
Right. Okay.
But it doesn't. For
But
example,
I mean,
let me-
like, there's no perfect image of like this is what a female looks like. This is what a male looks
No,
like.
but
Like we
for
all get our
example-
periods at different ages. Some of us like, and also like for example, like there are many circumstances where womanhood is just not one thing, right? It's a multitude of experiences
for
that
sure.
every single person.
Can you define what womanhood is? That's an interesting question for you.
Well, no, I can't define what womanhood is. And the reason why is because it's something that's an individual experience for every single person, right? Like my experiences, what I have experienced throughout my life is not going to be the same as another woman who may have grown up in a different
We have
environment.
disagreement, but not clarity. I say that being
Yeah.
a woman or womanhood is an objective thing.
Right. But
It is objective outside of one's own opinions or experiences.
So, but are we at the point where we're discussing where this is like not something based on your chromosomes, but something maybe based on a construct?
Well, no, it also can be objectively witnessed in empirical ways, in biological ways, in scientific ways.
Okay. So to clarify, we're still discussing whether womanhood is on chromosomes or not.
If you'd like to discuss that, it's deeper
Like-
than just chromosomes. but
Right,
yes.
right. I'm just trying to
for
like
example,
define exactly.
For
where
example,
this
if we
debate
look
is
at
right
SPEC scans or brain scans of men and women, 98% of the time, artificial intelligence can tell you which one is the men and which one is the female.
Okay.
So our
But-
different parts of our brains fire. So
Okay,
for
so-
men, for example, our amygdalas are not as high working as women. You know what amygdala is the threat assessment part of
So
your brain.
obviously, like your birth, so there's a difference between the concept of what sex is, which is a biological aspect, and what gender is, which is a social construct.
I
right?
reject gender completely
Exactly.
as a different word. It's really
Okay, so
personality.
that's where the debate is.
Yes.
Is the existence of gender.
That's-
Gender means personality.
Okay.
I don't
No,
doubt that
no, no, no,
biology-
no, 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 no. Gender doesn't mean personality. That's why personality is called personality, and gender is called gender. You don't call gender personality. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't mean. Anyways.
Men might
How
have
would you
feminine type
define
characteristics.
race on that point?
How would I define
How would you
race?
define race?
Well, race is a very, very difficult topic.
Okay, because I think that it's a really important thing to discuss when it comes
here's
to
the thing,
terms of
if
this.
I draw
because
if I draw blood, if
is
there
it
was-
ethnic lines?
if
Is
you
it
if you have a blood sample of a black individual and a white individual, I can't tell you which one is which. If I have a blood sample of a man and a woman, I can tell you which one is which, just by running very simple elementary blood tests. So, for example, if there was a Hispanic or a white, there is no
But
difference in
why
genetic
is it?
coding. There just isn't.
Why
We
is
don't
it
see- we-
important that someone's okay.
My next claim is that Kamala Harris is a DEI candidate.
Wait, who? Oh, okay. Okay, I get it now. It's like the I'm not American.
A lot of competition, Mason.
Yeah, exactly.
Good to see you.
Good to
Smart
see you
guy.
again.
Can I define what a DEI candidate is?
I think that you're going to say because she's black and she's a woman, she was
Well-
appointed because Joe Biden promised that, and it's not a testament to her
Not
success.
only that, but also in her getting the nomination, the Democrat Party, they said repeatedly, we do not want to pass over a black female.
Okay.
So just those two things, but the first one is stronger. You're right. Joe Biden said, I'm going to put on my vice presidency a black female.
Right.
Right. So his
Promise that
criteria
he
was
kept.
yeah, and that was like Karen Bass and Kamala Harris.
Okay.
So she was not chosen because of her intellect or her accomplishments or because of any of that. It was because she happened to fit a couple boxes. In fact, Amy Klobuchar, the vetting at the time.
No. It's not because of that.
Was that Amy Klobuchar would have been a better VP,
Okay.
and Kamala ended up getting it. So it's just a statement of fact that she is there not because of her brilliance or accomplishments, but because of her ethnicity.
So Kamala Harris, first and foremost, there are a lot of criticisms that you can give to her on why she wouldn't be an effective president. It shouldn't be because she's a woman or because she's black. And it seems to be that you're
that's
saying
not
that
it.
as
No,
a criticism.
I just want people to understand and agree. She didn't earn this.
She
because-
absolutely did.
well,
She
no,
has
hold on a
she has a
second.
career where she's
No,
been not only a DEA,
DEI
of
stands
one
for
of the
didn't
biggest.
earn it, just so we're clear. But like
It stands for diversity, equity, inclusion.
I-
I like the meme though.
I know what it is. but do you at least admit and acknowledge that when Joe Biden was searching for a VP, he cared more about skin color and a female than the smartest, best person?
No.
So the whole conversation
You at
with
least
this
agree with that?
affirmative action with DEI, the whole reason why people bring it in is to make this imaginary scenario that there's a super qualified white man who was overpassed by this unqualified, stupid, idiot person of color. Which is such a terrible analogy
said that.
because it's not true.
His own team
it's
said it.
absolutely not true.
But Mason,
That's not what it is.
his
Joe
own
Biden
team-
did not say, I'm going to choose an unqualified person
hold
and
on.
just
His
because
own
she's black.
team- his own team
He's
said-
saying that I'm going to have two qualified people. If one comes from a different experience, it might be better to have a
No, that's not
diversity
what he
and
said.
have a better perception
He said
in forms
he
of
said
government.
at the South Carolina
These are
debate that I will pick a black woman as my vice president. Secondly, Amy Klobuchar came out.
Is this a random black woman that he
finish?
plucked off the street?
Can I
Or is this a
finish?
qualified DEA
Can I finish?
general attorney who's had a decorated career
I'd like to
leading
finish my
government
thoughts.
positions?
But
you keep rambling about things that just aren't relevant to what we're talking about.
It is relevant. Amy Klobuchar in vetting came across as the more qualified candidate.
Why?
Because they said Kamala Harris wasn't very smart, wasn't very bright. That's their own vetting documents.
From who?
Joe Biden's own vetting documents
So
show.
why would he go against that?
Because the base of the Democrat.
What? No way.
Party demands tribal politics and DEI politics over competency.
That's
yes,
completely inaccurate.
He stated to Jim Clyburn said, "I will only endorse you in the South Carolina primary if you say that you're going to put a black person, preferably a black female, on your ticket with you." Therefore, you winnow the entire universe down and
When
say,
I was-
"I'm only going to choose from this criteria." And let's just think more broadly. If you're
Okay.
about to have heart surgery, would you rather have a heart surgeon that's good and excellent, knows what he's doing, or someone that is a black female?
So,
and being president's more important than being a heart surgeon.
Aren't you on record saying that you'd be terrified if there was a black pilot?
Yeah,
that was flying
yes,
your
I did
airplane?
say that. But why?
Okay, cool.
What was the full quote?
I personally, I don't know. If you want to expand on
yeah,
that.
so this ties into this. United Airlines said that half of all their new hirees are going to be black or women, and that standards and pursuit of excellence is not going to be taken as.
No. They said that because they weren't accepting black and female people. That's why they said that. Because they weren't accepting it. Get it now, my friend? Did you get it now?
Seriously as diversity. When I'm flying a plane.
No, it is. It is taken seriously. It is taken seriously. It's just like a lot of people have been rejected for the fact, or they are black, or they are a female. They've been rejected because of that. But they had the qualities to be there. They just didn't qualify because they were different for what they wanted. That was like a white man. Simply as that.
I want to know my pilot is there because they're a good pilot, not because they fit some DEI box.
Damn it,
No, it's not because of the DI box. It's not because of the DI box, my friend.
Fast, man.
Okay, so let's say that Kamala Harris was the DEI hire as vice president. Do you think she's also a DEI hire as the presidential nominee for the Democratic Party?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, they decided to go to her almost immediately because she is the VP, but also because she fits some criteria boxes. But let me ask you.
You don't think it's because Joe Biden nominated or
No,
said
no, for
he
sure,
wanted-
that's part of it. Of course it is. But let me ask you, what's her greatest achievement or accomplishment?
Her greatest achievement or accomplishment? I'd say her greatest achievement or accomplishment is completely destroying the Republican Party within like 2 weeks of being nominated.
How is
Like in the polls, she's just absolutely.
Huh? Sorry. How are you? Nice to see you. What's your name?
Amanda.
Amanda.
So you believe because Kamala is black and a woman, she was chosen for
It's
vice
not my own
president?
belief. Her own team, Joe Biden said that. He said,
Joe
I
Biden
chose.
said that?
Yeah, he said, I'm first, because beforehand he said, I'm going to choose a black female for vice president. He didn't say, I'm going to choose the most gifted or the most talented or the most accomplished. He said, I'm going to choose a black female.
Mhm.
And so by definition, that is DEI.
That is not the definition of DEI. By him saying that he was going to choose a black female, that could insinuate that he already had Kamala in mind for the role. no way does that insinuate that she's DEI.
Well, what is DEI then?
DEI would be
Choosing somebody based on their race?
no. It's giving people of color the opportunity to be welcomed into spaces in which they typically
Like Kamala
aren't
Harris?
able to get
There's
into.
never been a female black vice president.
And why do you think that is?
Well, hold on, not why. You just said that's DEI. So
That
by definition, she's DEI.
okay, so she
So
represents diversity within the government.
Well,
Is
no,
what
but
you're
you're saying she got elevated because she was
No.
a black female. Because
If that were the case, I'd be the president right now.
do you think Kamala Harris was chosen because of her intelligence?
Her qualifications and her intelligence.
Really? Wow.
If you
What's her
compare a
what's her
speech
greatest
with
accomplishment?
Kamala,
What's her greatest
probably
accomplishment?
being prosecutor within the Northern Californian
Oh, really?
area.
You mean letting out violent criminals and turning San Francisco one of the most murderous, dangerous, arson-filled, homeless-filled slums in the country?
Wow.
That's her greatest accomplishment?
See, I actually went to UC Berkeley, so I lived there. I don't know if you did. I went around the
Berkeley
area.
is a slum.
Berkeley's a slum.
Can
Have
you
stepped
can
into-
you let please people talk, and then you start and then comes to a point you stop talking above me. No, he's the one that starts talking above people. So
Yes, I
annoying.
have. You think Oakland and Berkeley?
Have you lived in Berkeley?
Do you,
I've lived in Oakland as well.
do you
You're
think,
basing your
you think the Bay
information.
Area is like a good area in this country?
I'm from Vegas, so I'm not from the Bay. Born and raised in Vegas and went to UC Berkeley. Just graduated this year. What you're saying, literally in no way, shape,
So I
or
just
form
want to be
makes
clear.
sense.
So you think her overseeing San Francisco becoming the laughing stock of the country
San
is her greatest
Francisco is not
accomplishment?
the laughing stock of the country. If anything, that's Florida. No offense, but
Wait, hold on. If that's the case, why are millions of people moving to Florida and millions of people leaving California?
because there are cheaper rates there. People are moving to Las Vegas.
Hold on.
Las Vegas has
Hold on a
changed as a
second.
whole.
It's cheaper because it's a better run state, and we don't give money
Listen,
to
Northern
illegals, and we
California
have
is
better
not
schools and
all.
lower
Northern
crime.
California is not the entirety of California.
Hold on a second, but
there's Southern California, Northern California.
why
you
is
know,
it that
it's
so
a
many
very big
businesses
state.
are leaving San Francisco if she did such a great job lowering crime?
Do you know businesses go where things are cheapest to operate?
Why are they cheaper? Because they're better run states.
Do you realize that California is one of the most populated states within the U.S.? So obviously
So is
costs are going to
Texas
be
and
higher.
California.
Not only that, but land within this state is also very,
Yes.
very, very minimal. So that's
Well, hold on, you have tons of land. You're one of the biggest states
yes,
in the
it is
country.
one of the biggest lands. But do you also take into account the population that's here?
Yes,
And due
Florida
to that,
and Texas have a greater combined population than California, and California has more population and more land mass than Florida. Why is it that San Francisco has a declining population and Miami, Tampa, Orlando have an increasing population?
what does this have to do with DEI?
Because she ran San Francisco poorly.
Bro,
she was chosen.
you can wait. You cannot say that because you have Portugal that is bigger than the Netherlands, but Netherlands has so much people there, so much more than Portugal. I'm gonna even search that, like how many people live in Netherlands. Okay. 7 million. 7 million? Yeah, it's here. And you know how many people is in Portugal? Like 10 million. And Portugal is bigger than the Netherlands, so it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We have more land than the Netherlands, and we still have like less than 7 million people less than the Netherlands. So the way he's seeing things and talking doesn't make sense. Has
as a
anything to do
VP
with.
because she was a black
She
woman.
didn't run San Francisco
She was the
poorly.
DA of San Francisco.
So
and then
she's prosecuting.
And then she became the AG of California, where crime went up, homelessness went up, arson went up, kidnapping went
She's
up,
not the
murder went up.
police.
Hold
Isn't
on.
that the job of
Hold on
the
a second.
police to get the criminals and for her?
The attorney general of the state is the top cop of the state.
Yes.
And what did she do to lower crime in California?
She convicted those who were guilty.
Why did crime go up?
Because as the population increases and
Then-
this
got it. So
economy gets
why-
worse, no.
why is
As
Flor-
the
why is
economy gets
Florida's
worse,
crime rate going
people
down?
are becoming more and more desperate, which leads to paths of crime.
Thank you.
Com envio grátis, não há melhor altura para comprar em segunda mão na Vinted. Descarrega hoje a Vinted.
Mine will be quick. Mine will be really quick.
Go ahead.
Okay, so real quick, you're saying that the only reason she was elected is because she's black?
Well, first of
So
all,
that trumps her being a district attorney and all
First
the
of all, this is
accomplishments
not
she
my
has?
words. I'm just going on Joe Biden's own words.
Okay.
Joe Biden said, I'm going to preset criteria based on black women.
But wait, wait. Are you taking Joe Biden's words out of context? Because if it is, doesn't make sense.
And therefore she met that criteria, and that's why she was selected.
No, why? I think what he was trying to say is, she's just black. She was just calling her black. She's not saying I'm doing. He's not saying.
He made a
He's
public
not
promise.
saying I'm doing this because she's black.
No,
That's
he-
not what she
He
said.
made a public promise before the selection even began and the process began. I will put a black woman on the ticket.
So you're saying her being district attorney doesn't matter. That's not why.
No, I
but
think she
yet,
did- no,
but
no, I'm
yet
saying she
Trump
did an awful
being
job.
a failed businessman and making all the weird comments he's made.
Well, hold on a second.
That doesn't have any like.
What I'm getting at, though, is that if she was not a black woman, she never would have been chosen as vice president. Her record
That's
was
a lie.
abysmal. She was a terrible attorney general of California. She was poorly. I'll be quick.
I'm so sorry.
She gets the next one.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
All right.
Yeah, I
Yes.
just have to know. Do you think Tim Walz is a DEI
Yes.
candidate? Okay. I just wanted to see
No,
if you're consistent on that.
DEI does not mean black. Tim Walz was only chosen because the Democrat Party is doing so poorly with white men that they tried to find a white man that they could put on the ticket.
But then also,
It's true. Tim Walz is the first white DEI candidate in history.
Okay, in the Democratic primaries, Kamala Harris
mean,
was
it's true.
performing incredibly
He
well,
agrees.
and she wasn't performing well in the primaries just because she was black. She was performing well in the primaries because during her time as a
Hold on.
senator, she spoke incredibly eloquently.
Look-
I used to watch when
Hold
I
on a
was little.
second. How
Yeah.
did she do in the Democrat primaries?
She did like much better than Amy Klobuchar.
Hold on. She didn't even make it to Iowa. She dropped out months ahead of the first primary. She was super unpopular, not well liked. Her campaign fizzled out. So she was awful.
popular initially.
Initially, yes, and then
Yes.
the more people learned about her, the more realized she was awful.
Well, it was mostly because like progressives are really upset about her being a DA, which like can be like that's a
Hold
completely
on.
different
Why
conversation.
aren't progressives
But-
upset about that now?
I mean, they are, but
Oh, they are?
But,
That's news to me.
But I
Everyone's
mean,
talking about how great a
no,
prosecutor she is.
progressives are definitely upset about the like how like the Biden administration has handled like the atrocities in Gaza and how like there are definitely things that Democrats are upset about. However, that's not the point of this conversation. And I would
That's correct. That is not
yeah,
the point.
that's
Correct.
not the point. What the point is that a lot of
Aw, thanks, guys. Okay. Hi, how you doing?
Great.
So, you keep saying that Kamala Harris is a DEI candidate, and I feel like my main fallacy with this argument is that competency can't be objectively determined because we all have subjective definitions of what a competent politician is. But my question for you is if Kamala Harris is a DEI candidate, why is she beating Trump in the polls right now?
We'll see what happens in November.
Okay, but she's currently beating Trump in the polls. So either
If the polls are right, I grant you that.
he's incompetent,
Or maybe she's a new candidate with a big surge.
she's doing
I
good.
would caution you being a little like this point in the election getting too cocky because we remember what happened with
I'm not
Hillary
getting
Clinton.
cocky. I'm asking you to answer a question. If she is incompetent, how could she beat
Well,
the president, who you said is an
As
amazing
of the timing of
president
this filming,
for-
can you name to me how many times she sat down for an interview?
What?
She refuses to
No.
talk to the press, refuses to take questions. She's done not one sit-down interview in nearly 25 days at the filming of this interview, mind you.
I
which
think
I don't
that
know
that
when
is
this will be
a
posted.
very weird point to make.
Well,
why would I
why is it-
count how many times Kamala Harris
because
has
it's
had
zero,
an interview?
because she refuses to take questions from the press and media. Like, shouldn't you do that if you're the sitting vice president?
She's
He actually did 3 last Sunday and 1 today with Meet the Press.
so the quality,
with
the
Kirsten
qualification
Welker.
of a
I'm
good
debating her, though.
president is to take an interview.
If you can't take a single question, but let me ask you this because it's on you. What's her greatest accomplishment as vice president?
As vice president, being the first female all-black president. We've never had that.
No.
before.
Like I got that, but like, what's her accomplishment that made people's lives better?
I don't know. Vice presidents don't really do much, to be honest.
Can you name one thing she's done that's
Yeah,
good?
actually,
No,
yeah,
probably
vice presidents don't do too much in USA. Like here in Europe, sometimes they even do more than actually the president. But USA,
Thank
yeah.
you. The Inflation Reduction Act.
Oh, really? Did that lower inflation? What's your name?
Brad
Nice to
Brady.
meet
Nice to meet you. I like the idea. 30 seconds on, 30 seconds
Let's do
off.
it.
I think the best thing I could say about this is you have your opinion and I can have mine. You believe that Donald Trump was a good president. I maybe don't believe that. You believe that Kamala Harris is a DEI candidate for the position of president. I don't believe that. What I'm getting to is, what do you gain from this? If I concede and say that Kamala Harris is a DEI candidate, what do you gain? Because I know what it is. You're baiting us into rage so that you can make money on your TikTok account. You're baiting college students all over the world into arguing with you over these fallacies. You throw a red herring out there, and you're making money from this account while we're sitting
Hold on,
here
hold
and
on,
looking
time out.
stupid.
First of all, I don't control this account. I'm a guest here. This is Jubilee Media, and they're going to edit it as they see fit. Okay, number one. Number two, it needs to be acknowledged that she didn't earn it. She didn't win a Democrat primary. She dropped out in the Democrat primary in 2020. She's never been likable. She's got there simply because of race, not because of competency, not because she's good at her job. And I think that's wrong and it needs to be called out.
You're bringing up qualitative examples. These are all subjective qualitative examples. Her race, her competency, her
Those are
dropping
Joe
out of the
Biden's
election.
words.
That's not what you said earlier. I'm talking about the points you've just brought up, multiple qualitative points. And these points can be believed by you and not by me, as you believe in a God and I don't. These are qualitative arguments that you're making against me for this, and I can believe differently than you, and I think we can agree to disagree on this one.
Okay, fine.
Perfect.
Okay.
Just shut up. Exactly.
I think this is going to take the entire time.
You're welcome.
30 on, 30 off.
How do you feel about the Senate?
As far as her tie-breaking vote of the Senate?
No. I'm just saying like Senate. Like the Senate is technically DEI in a certain sense for like small states. Like Wyoming gets people in Wyoming get a greater vote than me in California.
Like Rhode Island and Hawaii.
I'm giving you an example. California, I get less of a vote than someone who exists in Wyoming. So we're giving people in Wyoming more say than they necessarily should, given that they're one individual. So why do you believe in DEI as it relates to how our government is set up? But you don't believe in DEI in terms of allowing for people who are black or who are women to be in positions of power that they have not been allowed in, historically speaking.
So is the Electoral College and the Senate based on race?
It's predicated off of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
How is
right?
that?
Like inclusion of country areas, inclusion of rural areas, inclusion of white men like you.
Okay, so you mean like Hawaii?
I'm referencing. You could say smaller states or places that have less people in it.
So
obviously would be able to have more of a say per individual.
So your argument is that the U.S. Senate is a DEI? I gotta be honest, I've never heard that argument, but I think it's a little silly. But
how is it silly? Argue against it instead
Well,
of saying
yeah.
it's silly.
Well, right. So it's silly on its face because first of all, we have on the House of Representatives it's proportional to population.
Oh,
Second,
but the Senate isn't. So
no,
it's DEI.
it's not DEI.
Yes, it is.
Why would you say it's diversity, equity, inclusion? Because Wyoming gets 2 senators. They're their own sovereign state, aren't they?
For country areas, for rural areas, equity for
that's-
rural
that's
areas.
That's not
right,
the
and for smaller states.
So let's go back to the Federalist Papers and the Founding Fathers. Why was the Senate
Can you
composed
tell me
this
why
way?
it's not DEI? Like under your definition,
Well,
why is
because
it
it's
not
not
DEI?
based on race. And by the way,
it doesn't have to be based
it's
on
also
race.
based. It's not based on
You can have-
equity, and
can't
it's
you
not
have-
based on inclusion.
Can't you have
But
DEI based upon different
let me tell you
characteristics
why.
other than race?
Let me finish.
Whether or not you're a woman. Whether or not.
Let me finish. Why? It's because we are a collection of states. We are not.
I don't get it. Earlier he said that DI was not about race. Now he's saying it's about race. I don't get it.
Federal project. So states' rights usurp federal. Do you know what the 17th Amendment is?
Do you know why the Articles of Confederation failed?
Yes, but what is the
Why?
10th Amendment?
Because states had too many rights, had too
Right.
much power.
What is the 10th
That's why we
Amendment?
specifically adopted the
Parker,
Constitution.
let me make one point, okay?
Go ahead.
Which is, how did we used to elect senators?
It'd be population.
No, we used to elect senators based on state legislatures. So the Senate is an extension of the state legislative bodies. That's not DEI, that's federalism.
No.
That's the way that our system is
You're
set up,
misunderstanding what I'm
which is
saying
a
is DEI.
bottom-up, citizen-led government to allow the states, which are first and foremost sovereign. So it goes in this ladder in this country.
That's still DEI for the states
Citizens,
and for those country areas.
No, because it's colorblind. It's not that.
It's
we get white
again,
states
DEI
more
is
and
not
black
only based
states
on
more.
race.
Hold on a second.
Diversity for country, diversity for rural, equity for
Hold on a
rural,
second.
and inclusion of
So,
rural.
no, that's an
That's
interesting,
DEI.
It's an interesting point. So
You think
diversity.
DEI is only race
Let
because
me ask you a
you
question.
associate it with Kamala Harris.
Let me ask you a question. Is there a single instance in corporate America where DEI is implemented where diversity means anything other than skin color diversity?
So diversity.
No, it's not
women,
about viewpoint.
women.
What? Fine. How about chromosome or diversity or skin color?
So skin color. There's gender. You have to move the goalpost a little bit because you got destroyed there. All right, but there's also.
Well, no, I'm just asking a very simple question. The answer is no, because our system of government.
That doesn't mean that's not DEI. It still meets your definition.
The Senate is DEI.
What was your definition, though?
What
was your definition? Diversity, equity, inclusion. Diversity doesn't only apply to race. You're just saying other people defined diversity, equity, inclusion to be based on race. You didn't.
Let me finish. Because you're saying you didn't earn it. You know who did earn it? South Dakota and North Dakota when they charted themselves into states.
Wyoming didn't earn it because they have less of a population.
Into a state. Hold on. Yeah. All right. Who really wants to go? I don't want to pick on. I don't want to pick on somebody who doesn't want to get picked on. Okay.
It's gonna choose like.
You want to debate? Whatever you want. So you're the affirmative on the negative. You're good with 10 minutes. I don't want to put you in a spot you don't want to be in. You sure? Okay.
Okay, the claim I'm making is that affirmative action is constitutional.
Tell me about your claim.
I wanted to talk about affirmative action because we haven't really gotten to it, and it's recently been revoked based on the new Supreme Court ruling. And I firmly believe that affirmative action is constitutional and is a right that certain American citizens deserve. And I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, the 14th Amendment allows for equal protection regardless of race, and it's a colorblind amendment. And the whole idea of affirmative action is to try to give people extra boost based on their skin color or their racial background, which by definition cuts underneath the idea of equal protection.
Okay, so do you know why the 14th Amendment was founded and the Equal Protection and Equal Rights Act
Yeah,
exists?
the 14th Amendment was a post-Civil War amendment. 14,
Yes.
15, 16, 17 were all during Reconstruction.
So what was it in response to?
Slavery.
Oh, and who were slaves?
Well, that's an important point. So I think affirmative action will help heal the multi-generational problems of slavery.
I do, I really do,
Okay.
because, so let's just talk about the history for a second. Slavery begins in the early 1800s.
Earlier.
No,
Slavery?
1816 is the beginning of slavery.
1619.
Oh, yeah, I guess it would be. Okay, first slaves come in 1619, doesn't end until 1800s.
1880s.
Then we go into Jim Crow laws starting in 1877, and black people are not given equal rights until officially 1965. Would you agree with that?
That's generally the correct telling.
Yeah, so, 1960s, 1970s.
But just so we're clear that black Americans were able to serve in office in the early 1900s. They were able to vote throughout the 1900s. But yes, there were poll taxes, there was Jim Crow laws, there was segregation. Of course there was. I mean, you have to be delusional not to acknowledge those things.
Okay, so we can acknowledge all of those things. Can we also acknowledge, due to the laws under Jim Crow, that black people were significantly hindered from economic
Got it.
advancement?
This is a really important question. The data shows not really. It was evil, it was terrible, but black Americans are poorer today in 2024 than they were in the 1950s.
Yes, why do you think that is?
Good question. So we have the Civil Rights Act, we have more benefits, more government programs. Something changed between the 1950s and 2024. So there's two answers to this question. Either America got more racist since 1950s to 2024, so like that 70-year period, because black Americans are worse off today per capita
Yeah,
than
I would
they
agree
were.
with
Do you agree with that? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Than in the 1950s.
Okay.
Or there's another explanation, and I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, which is I think you would acknowledge that the disappearance of the black father has been the #1 driver of black poverty in this country. Now, there are reasons for that we could.
What do you think the reasons for that are?
Well, culture is one. Would you agree?
So actually, let's go
And then
back to the
you
foundations
could say school
of
to
that
prison
culture.
pipeline, all that stuff. But can we at least agree that black dads not being around is a bad thing?
Anyone's father not being around is a bad
No,
thing.
of course,
not
but
specifically.
75%.
Wait, he's talking about.
of black youth are not raised with a father in the home. It's the highest of any group in the country. It used to be 25% in the 1950s, so it's gone up dramatically in 70 years.
Okay, so you are blaming the fact that black people have not been able to achieve economic equality and
Or even
advancement in
progress.
this
It's 'cause
country
they've had decrease.
specifically and solely because
Not solely.
of the absence
Not
of black
solely.
parents.
It is the most primary ingredient reason. It's the most
So you
primary
think
reason.
it's the absence of black fathers?
Correct.
And you think what else?
Public sector's teacher unions that have kept these schools crummy and kids aren't reading and teachers keep getting paid and we don't fire bad teachers. That's a big thing.
Okay.
War on police in our inner cities and not having enough police and not actually locking up criminals. Hear me out. For example, in Chicago, do you know that only half of all murders go solved in the city of Chicago?
That doesn't surprise me at all.
That's a problem, right?
That is a problem.
Yeah, so we need more police, more detectives to solve those murders. But I want to hear your points too. I'm talking too much.
So let's go back a little bit to what you said in the issue of policing. Now, starting in the 1980s and continuing onward, there's been a war on drugs. Is this correct?
I like the war on drugs.
You like the war on drugs. So
Yes.
during the war on drugs, it created an epidemic of mass incarceration, specifically
Hold on,
of
only if you're using drugs
no.
or peddling drugs. If you don't use drugs, then you don't go to jail, right?
So you believe that the criminal justice system is flawless?
No, I never said flawless. There's a lot of people in jail that shouldn't be in jail. There's a lot of problems in any system.
Okay, so
But-
wait, let's
but
pause
however,
on that. So you believe that a lot of people who have gone to jail
small percentage.
shouldn't be in jail? A small percent.
Yeah,
What
but,
percent would you say?
5%?
You would say only 5%.
Correct. When you have a system of justice, you're going to have scummy prosecutors, you're going to have bad defense attorneys.
I have a question. Can I get a Google? What percentage of people currently incarcerated are black?
It's way larger than
Well, hold on.
It's what?
Hold on. No, I know, but the fact I'm saying 5%. Hold on a
So
second.
that's the point that I'm trying to make. Exactly.
Who am I debating? Am I debating here? Am I?
If your own government's pumping drugs.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So
but
I want to make a quick
You're
point.
right. Black Americans are in prison far greater than the percentage of the population. So black Americans are about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes, I
About
know
half
this.
of all prisoners are black.
Exactly.
So blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more.
No.
They commit more arsons. They commit more kidnappings. For example, blacks are.
No. He's being racist. He's being racist as hell. I don't even know how to continue this after listening this.
Are 13% of the population, and they commit 58% of all the murders. That's not a war on drugs. That's a culture problem.
Okay. So let's talk about that culture.
Culture problem. I think it's not because of that. I think it happens, unfortunately, because, like you said, not normally, but black people are more poor, and when you are poor, happens you go to crime, the life of crime, more easily because it looks like a way better to get a better life faster. So it calls you to be like, oh yeah, here you're gonna have money for you and your family survive. I mean, it's not happens with all the cases and all people, but that's true. That's been proven already that poverty makes people be more, no more criminal. Wait, like poverty makes crimes. No, wait, what? Poverty calls for crime, life, because of many stuff. Okay, not actually killing people, not actually about that, but more about stealing, more about drug business, that stuff. It's not like killing, but anyway.
Culture. Black people
But
have been.
But it can actually happen with anyone.
Legislatively subjugated.
Oh, And actually, we cannot forget about sometimes black people are not even their fault, but even if they were in the middle, people associate that is that person when it's not that person. Maybe it was a white man. And they just be like, oh yeah, but it was a black man because, or the black person because they are black, and that's, let's go. That happens in the States, in USA, not here in Portugal too much. I don't feel like it happens too much. I just feel like people around judge a lot when the person is not like Portuguese. They judge a lot. Yeah, a lot of like xenophobia and racist topics going on, because sometimes people are like, oh, these immigrants, they came here just to destroy. No, they don't came here to destroy. They came here to have a better life. You know? But anyways, what is about to say with that? With this, I was about to say something, I don't remember what. Oh, exactly. Like even bullies, you had this problem in USA with bullies. Like a black kid can go alone in the street and comes a police out of nowhere, like putting a gun and be like, oh, you were this and that, and the kid is just literally just like living his life, going back home from school, for example. Like it happened in USA a lot, just because it's black. Because if it was a white boy, teenager, let's say, that um, walks from school to home, no police was going to him, even though that white kid, white teenager, could have like a gun somewhere in his clothes or somewhere in his pocket. No one will go to them like, you were this and that. No, like it's situations that happens in USA, for unfortunately. But yeah, anyways.
Until 1965. I'll give it, I mean, honestly, it's later, but let's just say 1965. You do not think that 10 generations of legislative subjugation and slavery during that time, 4,000 black men, women, and children are lynched as the result of race?
Yeah, exactly. It's not the race problem, okay? Even though the fact she's talking about the generations is interesting, because USA just born like 30, 300 years ago, something like that, and it's still such a new country. Still such a new country, because something, some things happen in USA that it's kind of like exclusive for that. Like every time you hear some news, you just be like, oh, it has to be in USA, then is in USA. It'd be like, exactly, it has to be in USA because it could happen in any other part of the world. It's just like really exclusive. Like this country is really new and really powerful. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, it's a really new country. It's still have a lot, like it's really like a new country. It's really I'm trying to remember the word. um it's kind of up to date in questions of like um country questions, like uh technical stuff and things like that. But the part of society is really new. They are really like born babies. They are literally babies about the society stuff. You know, that's why in USA happens a lot of weird stuff, and we look and be like, what the fuck, you know. Anyways,
riots in this country, you do not think that these things have a lasting effect? We have had 10 generations of subjugation and 4 of legislative
Of course
freedom.
they have an impact, but it's more on you to explain why things got worse since the Civil Rights Act. More violent, less fathers around, poorer. Why
It's
is
not
that?
because of fathers. It's even white kids being super violent, going with guns to the schools and killing people. I don't get it. Why is it going like this? It doesn't have anything to do with it.
Because of mass incarceration and the unfair criminalization of
So,
black men.
But let's just take murders, for example.
Exactly, unfair criminals. I can't even talk, but she's
Why blacks
real.
are 13% of the population and commit 58% of the murders? Why is that?
But no. Let's say that is not correct, because some of them, they are even innocent, but they came as guilty because they probably were there somewhere. But
Because people in affluent and whiter neighborhoods are not being policed at the same
No,
rate. There are more
murders.
police.
I'm talking about dead bodies. There's no, like, we're not talking about policing. We're talking about murders. Why are so many blacks committing murders outside of their population?
why are so many white people committing murders? Like here in Portugal, you have that example. You have a lot of white and full Portuguese people doing more murders than actually the ones that are immigrants that came from other countries. Okay, you listen more about Portuguese than actually immigrants doing that stuff. You listen about Portuguese just going to family and kill family just because of money or any other stuff. You know, anyways.
Okay, let's take it back to some history.
I'm curious
Let's
for
go,
an answer to that question.
I'm going to give you one. So let's go to redlining. Okay, redlining.
Redlining
Yes.
is why so many blacks are killing each other?
No, let me finish my claim, and
Okay.
then you can respond. Is that okay? Okay, so redlining, federally mandated or sustained by the FHA.
My anger issues could never. Like, she's so calm.
Right? Separating black Americans to specifically impoverished and relegated areas of the country. We are incapable of buying homes and putting equity into neighborhoods with lower crime rates and better educational systems. We do not have access to things that would uplift and help our community. When you are put in an environment that promotes and reinforces
It's like aggressive gives aggressive. You know? Range gives range.
social
Unfortunately.
and economic inequality, you become desperate and are forced to do things
Like kill
that
people.
maybe don't align.
Like I was saying
your
earlier.
You're making an excuse for a lot
Now,
of murder,
when you have
a lot of stealing,
a high
but
concentration
that-
of a subjugated people in
Hold on.
one area,
If you were right, when blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous, there was less break-ins. Why is that?
so I'm sorry, are you trying to say that blacks thrive under subjugation?
And also you have the problem of like white people in USA. White people are more richer. Like sometimes not sometimes, but they are more richer than actually black people. So if you are richer, you have more money. If you have more money, you can do whatever you want, and you still can pay off your problems, so you don't get in jail for like years and years and years. You just pay and okay, it's okay. I don't need to go to jail. Simple as that.
No, I'm not. I'm saying I'm asking you the question. The data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil. But what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
Maybe they were afraid. I mean, 4,000 black men, women, and children were killed in violent lynch mobs.
If that's your explanation, but I guess
racial terror permeated American culture for hundreds of years.
Black America is
you don't
worse
think
than it has been
that
in the last
affected
80 years.
Do you? I would ask him one thing. Fast. So what is? He's not gonna answer me, but anyways, what was the origin Americans? When England arrived to America, who were there? Who were there? How do they look? Exactly. Exactly.
The
Does it make
generational
sense?
psyche of an entire group of people.
Well, I'm sure it did. I'm not discounting that. I'm just trying to understand why is it the more social welfare we've done. So we've spent $20 trillion on uplifting black communities, 20 trillion, and black Americans are poor. We've done everything that's been asked.
You haven't done everything that's been asked, though.
Great society,
because what is being
Exactly.
asked,
subsidized housing, Medicaid, public schooling.
They are asking for equality rights. You're not doing it.
Going subsidized college. We're talking about $20 trillion been spent on the Great Society, and yet Black America is poorer, more murderous, more dangerous. So there's an explanation. I'm asking you
but
to
we are not
explain that to me.
asking for handouts. We are asking for equity.
Hold on,
And
what
part
is
of
that? What does
equity
equity mean?
is
You mean taking
allow-
from other people?
Excuse me, it means sharing, which is something that you guys seem to have a very hard time doing.
Sharing. So somebody has to explain why Black America, and you haven't, is 13% of the population and commits 58% of the murder.
Black people have built and founded this society.
Because, let me tell you, because white people, they can cover up the murders with money. Unfortunately.
Thank you.
She could go with
Very
in hand
smart,
like.
very opinionated. There were a couple other people. I kind of felt bad for them. They had a lot of strong opinions, but they just weren't ready for prime time. Overall, very good group, very impressive.
Republicans tend to just focus on like preventing you from arguing your point, not actually countering the points that you come up with.
He often will switch the topic, like do a lot of gish galloping and like kind of filibustering to get people to not be able to make the points that they want to make. And I definitely feel like he did that to me.
Look, Charlie's a talented guy. There's a reason why he spoke at the RNC. He's media trained, he's had conversations like this before, and he's built a career on dunking on college students. But for a bunch of liberal students who don't have that same type of media training and who aren't as prepared to be in confrontational formats like this, I thought they did a really good job of articulating their views.
Yeah, Mason was the smartest kid, for sure. Parker needs to calm down. Very smart, but kept on changing the topic. But he's got talent. Very annoying, though. Smart, but annoying.
Sort of
Gave
annoying.
Charlie a run for his money.
Yeah, Parker ate that down.
One girl was very nasty. She was a very nasty person. She overly personalized it.
I honestly don't regret any of the things I said. The only thing I would have taken back is I said at the end, as I walked away, I said, I hope your daughter can get away from you. That one was a dig, and that was my bad. But honestly, in the case of
She was furious. I get her. I would say it too, girl. I would because I will be so
being a 10-year-old pregnant and he won't let her get medical help. That's just wild to me. I can't believe that.
I think the group did very great. It's a very hard environment for people to learn in these types of areas. But I think
this guy looks so optimistic and really annoying and really like nerdy, but at the same time, I want to meet this guy someday.
best that people get involved in debate and entertainment as it helps people grow and critically think in our society.
I thought it was very valuable. I hope people learned something. I think the students were able to refine their arguments, and hopefully this gets seen by millions of people where they're able to see what side they land on. But yeah, it's not easy just to stand there, be 20 on 1, but only at Jubilee Media.
Okay. Come on, his smile is creepy. Not gonna lie. I feel kind of bad for him. Why? I feel kind of bad for him. Why he has a smile so creepy like that?